Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Gladiator League here at Titan Esports. Today, it's going to be Flash of Night, aka Flash, casting alongside with me, Stefu, with our friend Lukin on the production. Welcome, everyone. Please gather around, because the semifinals are around the corner. How are you, Flash?
I'm doing crazy. I am just super excited to see these two teams play. They have very strong records, very close records throughout these 5 weeks. So,
Hmm.
very competitive teams. We know how these teams are going to play in the sense of they are going to look to like snowball or they're going to look to play through jungle. They have options. Like, these are not bad teams. They have very strong showings over the 5 weeks, both dropping only 2 games, like 2 actual matches of these BF3s. So, very, very strong.
Absolutely. Another thing that was really cool was that both of these teams were going. Both matches that we're going to see in the semifinals are going to be between seed one versus seed two of the different groups. As you may or may not already know, there were two sides of the same coin. We had the Spartan standings, which were 5 teams, and the Athenians standings, which were another 5 teams. These 10 teams duked it out in their own groups, and finally, we have the last two sets of teams. On the Spartan standings, the winners were Elysium Riptide and Iceborn Ya. While in the other side, the Athenians had Cloud9 and ISM All Star Gold. Overall, very solid teams. In the side of Riptide, they went almost like they went 4-0, but they lost 2 games during the whole league. While on the other side, Iceborn Ya went 7-2, which means that they actually dropped a game. Uh, they just forfeited. So that's why they are 3-1. But they could have maybe gone 4-0 because, dude, these guys play really well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's also to keep in mind that the loss that they did have to is to the number one seed. Iceborne lost to the number one seed within
Hmm.
their own standings, but that was over almost a month ago. That was in week 3. So there's a long time for players to improve and become more comfortable with the style if they want to play the game. So much can change in that amount of time. Like, these are not just something that happened last week where they just played a best of 3 and lost. It is a long amount of time to
Hmm.
play multiple games and gets lots of improvement.
Absolutely. And there's something that is really cool about that we really need to shout out. I know that you weren't here. This is my first time casting along with Flash, but just as how Looking would put it, I'm the Tom Bicycle. Everyone has casted with me. For whether if that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's something that happened. But you really missed last week's games because those were insane. We went to game 3 and they did Chaos Draft.
Oh my god, just ultimate
Nasus
bravery.
jungle, Pike mid. We had Gangplank bot lane, stuff like that they were doing really really cool. So we are just hang on real there because we are just about to shift into the draft. Our friend Lukin is the one behind the production, and he has done a really amazing job into upping our production values.
Fogger's production, saving the
Hmm.
game.
Absolutely.
And
So
starting off bans, and that's going to be a Karthus ban coming
yeah.
out from Clout9. Very strong jungler, normally drafted with all 80 chances aside them. And the Yumi ban, get that cat out of there. Bandit in
Mm,
Worlds. No one likes Yumi. No one likes Yumi.
no one likes Yumi, and you know that if T1 won, they would have gone the Yumi. They would have gotten the Yumi straight up.
Okay, as we're going to see the Kaisa ban coming out, so very much carry champions getting banned away from Iceborne. Cloud9
Hmm.
really does not want to see a carry in the bot lane. The bot lane jungle matchup seems to be very much the focus being
And
taken
taking away
away.
the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is a really really strong pick to not only in Worlds but in this gameplay. In these current plays, it's really good, and we're seeing another hyper carry being banned on the Cloud9 side, which is going to be Twitch.
Yep, and I think we can kind of get from the draft that the bot lane is going to be a lot of focus here between these two teams.
Hmm.
And we're seeing basically 4 bans from each side targeting champions within the bot lane. Yes, technically Twitch could be played as a jungler or
Mm,
like so
yeah,
AP
yeah.
jungle, but like that's
If
really
if you've
unrealistic.
played solo queue, you know that you know the disdain of getting killed by a level 2 rat.
Yeah,
It's
coming into
not
your
fun.
lane. It's like
Yeah,
J4, but except for you can't see him. And we're
we're
gonna see
seeing the
a
Viego
numbers.
pick. We're seeing
Okay.
the Viego pick and Graves. Graves, I think it's still a kind of a flex pick because I'm pretty sure that it can go, still go top and make waves into it. Not 100%, but he can make it work. We're seeing the Graves pick, and let's see the second pick is looks to be the Aphelios.
Yeah, we're still seeing the hover, so it could potentially change, but I like the Graves into Viego matchup. Graves gets
Mm-hmm.
a lot of armor via his E, and that just gives him a lot of sustain and fighting capabilities into a champion like Viego, and also the ADC that Cloud9's going to probably draft. It's very unlikely that they're just going to pick up a APC bot lane, and ability powered champion to carry. So picking the Viego, picking the Aphelios, very strong attack damage dealers that can have a lot of impact within the role, and the gold value that they get from just being ahead is very snowbally.
It's a disgusting champion overall. Like he can do tons of damage. He can play very safe, and we're seeing the Ash, which is like in the complete opposite. It's one of those champions that can have like a really safe lane with defining ultimate abilities.
Yeah, for sure. Ash ult, the arrow. There's so many highlight plays from both pro play and solo queue of Ash arrows changing games. So
Mm-hmm.
seeing that champion onto Aphelios basically forces Aphelios to take cleanse here, unless he wants to ego check into Ash. So gonna see the set also picked up. Could be flex to support, or it could be a set top lane. We still do not know.
Absolutely. Right now, another thing that we're seeing that also appears in this match is going to be the Soraka and the Set. Set is one of those really annoying power picks that can definitely punch a hole right into your defenses by just the W, and
Yeah,
it's a really
crazy.
consistent laner.
Yeah, no, like just what you said, Haymaker, the true damage is just really hard to deal with. It doesn't matter how much armor Graves gets, doesn't matter how healthy Aphelios stays with Soraka. If you get one shot, you get one shot. Like there really isn't too much counterplay to two damage that can stack up to like 1,000. We've always seen those clips on Twitch where the set just has full bar and just boom one shot someone. So it's not out of
Yeah,
the complete realm of possibilities.
or slamming your tank into the back lane and freaking destroying all of them. We've seen all of that. And it's one of those, and he has such an easy lane. Like he gets poked a little bit, he goes back a little bit because the passive tells us that Set doesn't like losing, whatever that means, and he regains health after a couple of minutes. But right now we have all the bans. We had the Ari ban, which feels targeted, Aatrox and Fiora on the other side, and Victor. Victor is one of those very consistent picks that can do wonders in a match. And we're seeing the Malphite hover,
Oh, it looks like
which
gonna be an Ornn pick instead. I do like
okay,
the Ornn a little more just because of the flexibility within the ultimate and the ability for him to specialize more into just broad resistances. Malphite's kind of more specialized to deal with armor, which does
yeah.
very well into Clout9's so far all AD draft. But Ornn scales better with his passive. Every item he builds, he gets an additional 4%. Um, like just free resistances. He gets like 4% armor, 4% HP, 4% magic resist for every item
Mm-hmm.
that he gets for himself and his teammates. So at full point, he's got that's 20% everything. That's insane. That's so much value.
Yeah. I absolutely concur with you 100%. What we're seeing the Renata Glass Clock, which is woof. It's one of those supports that you love to hate. Like it does so much work.
Oh yeah, it does. The ultimate can just change fights, especially with on-hit champions like Aphelios and Graves, who if they get taken by their own ultimate can just start killing each other. And
Mm-hmm.
with the Galio pick, that's gonna solidify Cloud9's into draft.
Absolutely. There's another thing here that really leaves me wondering. It's going to be the Galio pick. The Galio is a consistency booster. Okay, like they are trying. So if you look at the draft right now of them before the Iceborn, it's able to respond, and they're going to go for the Zoe. Zoe, a very good poke champion, can do wonders in a team fight, and it's an overall very flexible pick in the sense that it can fit almost every team composition.
Yeah,
It's not
Zoe.
it's not the best spot right now, but it works.
Yeah, Zoe does quite well in solo queue because of the chaos of people using summoner spells.
Hmm.
She hasn't been really seeing as much play within like competitive scenes because of her W not getting the utility. But if Zoe is able to just bully Galio early on, before he upgrades his magic shield,
Hmm.
it's kind of hard for Galio to play without trading HP to get the CS and then get waves. Along with Zoe just being able to hit massive picks in the late game with a single bubble. Like if Set Ash, Renata Glass, or even Viego get hit by a bubble, well, that's Ornn, Aphelios, Graves just being able to load everything on their kit at that
Hmm.
target with no chance of them being able to get out.
Absolutely. Another thing that we can see from everything that's going on over here is that I'm it's hard for me to define what's the win condition for the side of Cloud9. Like they have very consistent picks, but it really leaves me at a loss of what exactly is going to win them the game. Is
Yeah,
it going to be the set getting fed, which can be kited by players like Graves, Zoe, and Aphelios? Is it going to be the Ash arrow, which could be absolutely gimped by the Ornn, or is it going to be the Viego, which can definitely scale the hardest and can do a lot of work during matches, but it could be set behind. What's your take?
I think personally, Cloud9's draft is really reliant on Viego getting ahead. Because
Okay.
Ash into Aphelios, I played C myself, and the
Mm-hmm.
way that Ash works is she's a very strong champion in her ability to get wave prio. There isn't a lot of
Okay.
champions within bot lane that can have hit an ability that hits every single minion in a wave. If Ash
Okay.
positions herself, she's just gonna get shoving power into Aphelios, especially early on. I mean, Aphelios has no abilities level 1, like, literally
Mm-hmm.
nothing. So, he can only auto attack, and Ashe is gonna start volley very early on and just push the wave, getting level 2 prio quite quickly, and freeing up her support and herself to get vision within the enemy jungle, which will be very strong for Viego,
Mm-hmm.
because if Viego isn't ahead in this game, um, you just have a set that's gonna hope to ult Ornn, and an Ashe that's not going to be able to insta kill anyone. Ashe is definitely a DPS champ, but she's not a hyper carry. That's the
Okay.
thing. No member of Clout9 outside of Viego is a hyper carry. Like no one is going to be dropping 2000 damage like that. Like no one's going to blowing everyone up outside of the set ult, just picking up a tank and trying to squash somebody.
Okay. I see what you're getting at in this thing. There's something there's a chance because we all played solo queue in one point or another. We know that when Diego ramps up, it's very hard to bring him down, but we will have to see because they have a really like Diego is a really high tempo jungler. Okay, he he requires a lot of resources to make do with what he needs. So we will just have to wait at this very moment. It's finally the semifinals. We are right now. Something happened. Uh, very
We're just going to we're
very
just going to skip
unfortunate.
that part.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There have been technical difficulties, not fault of looking. We didn't rummage on the cables. Any of us. We were doing our job. We swear.
We swear we're doing our job. We haven't
We
messed
swear
up
we're
yet.
doing our job. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I think you're very much like about the Viego's ability to get resources is really dependent on his waves ability to push. His teammates need to have prio and waves, which is going to be easy for bot lane and probably top with set. Mid lane is where it gets a little questionable because if Zoe is just hitting Qs and walking forward and just getting max damage on that, she can push the waves quite quickly, but I think the jungle matchup is the real pendulum swinger in this series because if Graves just gets a great invade or takes away a ton of camps from Viego and slows his tempo down towards level 6, his ability to fight or just slows his chances of securing dragons with his bot lane prio, it becomes
Mm-hmm.
very difficult for me to see a late game Cloud9 being able to deal just the raw numbers coming out from Iceborn's champions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's assuming that Aphelios and Soraka don't get Ash ulted and die bot lane in the 2v2. That's assuming that Galio is like being able to get impact with his ultimate. Like if those other variables happen, we can easily
Mm-hmm.
see Cloud9 just outvaluing with their ability to secure kills compared to
Mm-hmm.
Iceborne, which is really playing the numbers and the stats. They have
Yeah.
powerful ultimates, but they're not like game changing ults. Like there's outside of Aphelios and Ornn, the Galio ult's gonna be impactful from the moment he has it leveled up.
Yeah. The thing is, we need to talk. I want to like dial back and talk about the mid lane. What the mid lane is going to be like. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be a very kind of like a safe lane where the Galio is going to go aggressive anytime Viego is near. But we're missing something that could happen, and is like the stray Ash arrows coming from the bot lane towards the side lanes. Like like Galio is about to fight Zoe, gets hit by an Ash arrow, guarantees the E, W, and empowered basic attack just by that, and that could
Yeah,
happen.
that
So
is definitely possible.
they need to be very careful because that's the way that people have been playing Ash in the last couple of months.
Yeah,
That's the way they've handling it.
one of the few things that people don't know about the tech of Zoe, and this is actually something very popular within Eastern regions where solo queue, is actually Zoe taking Cold Start. And I know it sounds so grief on her, but it's the fact that with auto attacks and W, she just does so much base auto attack damage early on in the game, kind of like
Hmm.
Swain, where he can just win trades by landing more autos. And
Okay.
it's a really weird thing if you do watch certain players, the Zoe into melee matchup with Cole is actually quite strong. I
Hmm.
don't think he'll take it just because it's a competitive situation, but it is something that allows him to have a more scaling pressure because Galio's going to get wave prio in Rome. And if Zoe's able to punish that and take advantage of having a better wave or like freezing or doing something to force Galio to stay in that mid lane to stop him from getting those ultimates to abuse his CC, that
Hmm.
will be more valuable than just letting him go wander off into her red side or watching him go ult the bot lane of the map. Like she cannot let him do that for free. Like that is the most important thing of this matchup is just don't let Galio do things for free. If
Yeah.
Galio gets to do things for free, your team's not gonna like you very much.
Absolutely. So right now we're going to go into a short break while we're waiting for the spectator delay, and we will sync up, and we'll be right back with the first game of the semifinals here at the Gladiator League in Titan Esports. Don't go anywhere. Welcome, guys, back to the first game of the semifinals between Iceborn Ya versus Clout9. Today, I'm being accompanied by my friend Flash of Night, aka Just Flash. How are you, friend?
I am doing very well. I'm very excited to see this game. We've got some very powerful picks. The Ornn, the ninja, warlock, assassin, tank, bruiser. Like he does everything. Like the
Yeah.
champion is so busted. Uh, I'm lost for words when it comes to how many times that champion gets away with kills in lane. Um, but I am very excited to see Clout9 play Iceborn here. I think these teams have very good reads on what their players want to do and how to perform their meta. But it just comes down to, in this game, how do they make themselves achieve their win con, prevent the opponents, and if
Mm-hmm.
this first game sets a tempo.
Absolutely. I'm really excited because these kinds of matches are really fun to watch, and they can bring a lot to the table. But right now, I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen. Whether our predictions, stuff that we said from the get go, are going to become true, or are we going to be sorely disappointed by the fact that we are not able to predict anything?
It always is possible, depending on how these matchups go, because champions like Galio and like Set are going to have a pretty easy time getting Prio. Really, all of the lanes of Cloud9 are going to have time getting Prio. The question is, can Viego use this to get objectives? Can he use this to generate other leads?
Absolutely. So right now we need to be everything needs to be very very careful. And the start of the harass from Granada Glass is always a talking point in every single match because well, it's just that strong.
Grasp Ornn is just so balanced.
Yeah.
We just literally see him walk down and hit auto attacks with Grasp, and he just takes the HP.
The
He's gonna go for that flash throw attack and gets the kill! This is
uh,
just can't be allowed. You cannot be taking trades like that.
the 1v1 king of League of Legends. Not
Oh
even
my god.
Fiora can go against that unscathed.
Oh, and that's just the power of Second Wind with D-Shield. I mean, we've seen it at Worlds, and we're seeing it even here. It's just such a strong sustain method within lanes. It's really hard to prevent champions like Ornn, and even like Fiora sometimes, Silas and Kali are even taking it into lane, because it just allows them to trade and get CS with such a little cost to their HP bar.
A more cheesy champions. You also have like Rengar can bring Grasp of the Undying against a couple of other matches on the top lane, and it's like super hard to deal with him.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, those kinds of tech choices. Some people hate them. Like for example, the tanky Diana meta that we've seen that we've seen. But I actually like those tech choices. I think they can make the game 100 times more entertaining.
Yeah. I think it really comes down within these are the micros of the game, like how players are going to be playing this, but we're currently seeing, even though top lane died, he's burned TP, he's getting some CS here. Mid lane on Galio is generating a CS lead, and the prio that they're getting from bot and mid secure the first Scuttle Crab, and they double Scuttle Graves here. I mean, that those are two camps that Viego gets because of wave prio, and that's a lead that he needs to be getting.
Absolutely. There's something else that we need to get into account, and we're going to go on our premonition glasses. Okay. So
Okay.
what's going to happen is going to be this. Bot lane in the side of Iceborn Ya is going to stay essentially the same during the match. They're just going to move in, and we're seeing the Zoe wanting out for blood.
Yeah, I mean, we have an Ignite lane with the Zoe here, so she's really looking to just get as much damage onto Galio when he has cooldown on his spell shield, or his passive W. Because
And
whenever that comes back, he's going to win the trade.
And something that I think you mentioned during our draft is that the side over Iceborn Ya doesn't doesn't have like no on the side of how do you say this?
Clout9, Clout9.
Yeah, it's in the side of Cloud9 that they actually they
Oh, flash
don't
burn!
have. Whoa.
Oh!
Ooh. They don't have like a conventional tank.
Yeah.
In the side of Iceborn, yeah, I said it backwards. On the side of Iceborn, yeah, they have actually a conventional tank, one that can
Yeah, they have
engage and
the Ornn.
disengage and do peel. On the side of Cloud9, they have a lot of damage, but they don't have like yeah, you have Galio, but Galio is more like go in or go home when it comes to engages.
Yeah.
But right now, Cloud is going to get the first Drake. What soul do you think it's going to be? Talk to me.
Honestly, if I was in this game, I can make a guess and I can say, oh yeah, we're gonna get a Infernal Soul, or we're gonna get
Okay.
a Soul of like Ocean. Currently I'm seeing that the next soul is going to be Mountain, which I think that's a little bit mistaken because we already have a Mountain Dragon. Oh, the Flash being burned by a
Yeah.
Loon very early. That's a threat in bot lane with level 6s approaching from Ashe.
Yeah, the next Drake is going to be Hectic.
Okay, there we go. And yep, Galio can take trades here, and he only wins if he's able to land everything, but he'll lose if he misses a single ability, because
Yeah.
Zoe just has more value through her stun. Like, the fact that she can sleep people is
And
so balanced.
top lane is feeling like a really bad nightmare.
Yeah, the wave management
Oof.
from D tier, I think that's how you say it, is really
Yeah.
strong. I mean, he's able to manipulate, and he's getting the wave to push to him. It's gonna freeze in front of his tower, and
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna force Viego or some member of Clout to just walk up and protect him. Because if they freeze, Ornn can just threaten a kill. He's making trades and winning them with a smaller wave.
Dude, I've seen Orns do 1v3s. That's exactly what he wants. Straight up. But the hope is not lost for them. They're just one kill down, and they have a Drake on them.
Yep, that's going to be the Ornn coming down. That's going to get the flash auto attack, and that's going to be the ult coming out from Graves. They're going to burn everything to prevent the Haymaker from keeping Set alive. He did have it up, but he just couldn't see. Graves, the smoke screen provides so much value into the Ornn ult. You just don't know when it's coming.
Yeah, I have an absolute hate bias against Set, which makes me extremely happy how they are. The performance in the top lane for the guys over at Iceborn, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
good
I
job, boys. I
want
like
to
it.
take a moment to talk about the itemization that's going to have to be forced through Viego.
Okay.
Viego's going to go for Bork here, right? But he has one option, which is the difference between going Kraken Slayer,
Mm-hmm.
or he can choose to go like the weird tank thing, like the itemize into we've seen people build
Yeah,
Frost
the
or Gauntlet,
Sunderer
or
into
Sunderer. Yeah.
yeah.
To be more tanky. So he has a choice there, but I think because of the Ornn, it just forces him to build damage. Because if he doesn't build it, Ashe has to build it. And if Ashe gets hit by a bubble, she doesn't
Mm-hmm.
have cleanse. Like,
Yeah.
she's just gone.
The option for the Ash is that Renata brings up Mikhail's.
Yeah,
And
which is
that but that's not something that is going to happen
for a
early.
while.
That's going to be like third item or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, we're seeing Set trade into the wave down a level, and he's just not winning here. The grass procs are just too strong. Without Flash, the ultimate comes down from Galio to force him away. He hits the knockup, but he can't force a kill. He just gets out.
Yeah. He's just walking. He's just
He just
walking
walks
there.
away. Ornn is level 8. He's up by almost 30 CS.
Oh my god.
Oh, Zoe is looking for a kill here. She's gonna get the kill through Ignite.
No.
She's trying to get the Herald. Does she pick it up, though? We'll have to see. No, Galio secures it. He's gonna be going for the taunt into this. He will secure the kill with his top laner. They're gonna trade 1 for 1. The flash burn from Zoe, but the kill onto the Viego is gonna slow his tempo down as Ornn is gonna look to threaten this. He gets ulted over the wall. Meanwhile, we're gonna transfer over to the Graves. Galio 1v1. Galio does have the stats here. Graves does not have an item. That's going to be doing enough into the likes of tanky Galio. He has no ultimate. He's one shot by an auto attack from both sides, and they both just trade away. No kills happen.
Yeah, 2 levels behind from the Galio. The Galio has been doing an exceptional job at farming.
Oh, careful. Viego shows up. He burns away everything. That's going to be the ultimate coming down. The ultimate from Soraka, too. They're going to get the auto attack. He's going to flash, and he will fall. That will be another kill going over. And Graves is now 2-1 with the first bounty of the game.
That's really good communication right there. Like, they were almost in perfect sync when it came to okay, we're about to fight. They knew, they were watching the minimap. They knew the exact moment when to use it, and not only did it save Ornn, but put Viego at a disastrous disadvantage at this very moment.
I mean, we're currently seeing Dead sacrificed so much to take those fights, and he just got bullied away. I mean, he lost so many minions, EXP. I mean, we're seeing a XP wave, or XP lead and CS lead generate in top lane. Jungle now just has massive swing, and it's just going to become very difficult for Clout9 to take fights unless they're going to be able to play around their ultimate cooldowns. And
almost
they have to the next dragon.
almost 1,500 gold on the side of Iceborn. Yeah. They're doing a fantastic job, not only securing some of the objectives but getting the kills. But they are not able to secure the objectives, but they're very well able to get the kills, and that can work wonders in the early game.
Ornn is doing Ornn things. He just walks at him aggressively with no care in the world. And Set is just like, dude, I don't know how to play this lane anymore. He built boots and my champion does nothing.
Yeah, it's like that one joke from the Smash community, that did he just walk up slowly and down tilt?
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Oh no, this is just not looking good. Graves though here with Viego that's gonna be Astral onto him. They're gonna CC him up and Graves cannot move. The ultimate from Berserker comes down. That's gonna be Frosty with the flash, will not be able to use it. The CC comes through, the flash going, and the cleanse. They're going to try to chase down, but they're not going to be able to secure it. That's going to be a 2-for-0. They're able to take advantage of their ultimates, the vision, to get some much-needed kills. And that's going to be Spires going for a very aggressive look onto the jungler.
Absolutely, and we're seeing the Ornn.
He's looking for it, but he'll miss it. The taunt from Galio does exactly that, and Felios goes in. He will not secure the kill. Ash will get a thing for her teammate, and the Galio comes back. He will CC up both of them. He's going to get the stop, though. He's going to flash over the wall. Spires is trying to get away. Both of them are on the fling here. The taunt will come through. The CC, the fall up the chain, and that's going to be the Soraka actually to secure the kill. Ash will get the auto through. They're going to try to chase this down. He uses the blast cone, the follow. That's going to be the stop. The here's coming out from Soraka, the 1-for-1. Ornn is going to be ahead here, looking at the Galio, picking up that nice bounty. Ash has to run away. The CC knock will happen. The slow from the Soraka as Graves is going to try to look for something. Getting the Q from Renata might have just saved that Ash's life.
Save that Ash. But the cool thing was that they were able to kind of equalize everything. They're just 100 gold behind from all that fight, and this is something that you said. The guys over at Cloud9, they have really good defining ultimates. They have really good catch-up potentials, and when they combined all their CC into getting rid of the Graves, which was the one that actually had the bounty, it was a no-brainer from there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're currently seeing the dragon still available, that Hextech Soul. Galio is trying to get mid-prio, but it looks like Graves is just going to show up. They're going to get looked for some CC here, and Renata also will show. Herald has been popped, though, so they're just going to get this as a free Herald. It might not land in time. Then, yep, 4 members of Iceborn move for this.
It was actually the right call, because right now, top was pushing, bot was pushing, so right now...
That could be a look onto Galio. He will be C'd up, actually getting a double CC as the Berserker comes through, and all autos won't be onto the backside, as it looks like Aphelios is looking for a massive fight. Viego gets one reset. He's looking for the other one. He's going to keep getting possession after possession after possession as Ornn. His lead means nothing here. That's a double kill for the Viego. The flash over the wall, the knockup, the everything. He's going to be able to look for another kill as Renata will pick it up, and that will be a 4 members of Iceborn getting wiped here. And the lead they had so confidently crumbles before their hands.
Absolutely.
Whatever the saying is.
Yeah, whatever the saying is, I absolutely feel you, because that's exactly what happened. They have a lot of catch-up potential, and that's exactly what happened. Zoe was in a disastrous position during the start of that fight, and at the same time, Ornn couldn't do anything. Even though he was able to do a lot of assist and everything, once that was gone, you still had an Ashe all the way front backing, doing a lot of damage, a lot of annoying CC that you're not able to get away from, because let's be perfectly honest, the Swift Boots are awful, telling you that they reduce slow against the Nash. Come on,
Yeah.
don't be so untruthful.
The thing that I think is the most important is how this game progresses later on for Iceborn in their favor. They do not have a strong early game team comp, and I think that's the mistakes that they're making, is they're taking fights around this idea that they're ahead, but their team comp really peaks within that level 13 plus zone of the game.
Yeah.
They want Aphelios to have 2 items and be able to look for a kill. They want their Zoe to be able to look for one-shots with her bubble ult. They want Grave to have a completed mythic so he can actually fight within the enemy team, or to have multiple items.
Absolutely.
So I think they just need to stall out the game with dragons. Like, they need one dragon that's 5 minutes of scaling time, and if they get just one dragon on Iceborn, Clout9's chances of winning this game drop as the game goes on.
Yeah, but we have to take into account something that you said during the draft and everything, and it's the fact that even though they may have like a strong like a strong late game and everything, even when the Ornn becomes too tanky and you have a set that can throw it against the opponent team, it can also mean the death of you.
Yeah, no, true.
So yeah, we need to really need to be careful about that.
Interesting choice from Set, though. He's going to take the Gore Drinker first here, which allows him to trade a little more comfortably. He'll get some good damage onto Ornn here, but he's down by a level, and he walks away with a good amount of HP, but the wave will still crash. He's trying to freeze it, and I think he's just going to be building items and doing Ornn things.
They have actually a really he actually has really good CS for being behind one level. Like, yeah, he's behind by level because he has spent less time than Ornn on lane, but he's just 10 CS behind. This is like a wave and a half, so it's there's not like these massive amount of disadvantage right there.
Yeah, Ornn had a much larger lead, and then a bad fight in Dragon, a bad rotate there, and they lost a lot of that. Which speaks volumes. Right now we're seeing a
Cage going on to Ashe as the CC. The Ruble actually misses the bubble. The ultimate comes down. It will not connect. And that's actually devastating. Iceborn will not hit the additional CC follow-up as the Berserker comes down. It will connect onto the Aphelios. The cleanse must be used. Going to see the Gale Force to get out. Going to be some trading in the bot lane, but I think both teams are going to respect the engage opportunity is gone.
We're seeing there's a lot happening around the maps, and fights need to play it in a very meticulous way because of the Renata.
Yeah, she basically kind of acts as this wall, and meanwhile, actually, Alun might be calling out. He has to burn his flash. Oh, that will be a Zoe bubble hit. Meanwhile, on the top side, we're seeing another trade, and ooh, that will be the CC. They're going to look for the stun. The follow-up, the ultimate will actually be flash as the Sirocco comes down too. They're going to look for some sort of trade. The ultimate from Graves will not be able to secure the kill here, and both teams seem to be resetting their tempo.
Yeah, a really nice play from the Zoe, being able to flash into the tower at the last second. Really bad that he had to burn flash for it, but hey, it's better to be alive without flash than being dead with flash. Means you could have survived, maybe.
Yeah, I think a really missed opportunity within this Ornn lane is he's not going forward to take CS from the Viego's blue side, or at least putting vision there. Kind of the idea when you're crashing waves like this that are so large is you want to take time to look for some sort of advantage if it's not in CS, but it's out roaming. This concept is also more applicable in mid lane than top, but still, you could get a ward on their blue buff. You get a control ward in some side of the jungle. And maybe no, it looks like Schreiers will actually be caught out by the multi-suns coming up from the support and Galio. He will fall to the ignite from the Renata, and it's just death after death, and that's going to give another dragon at 20 minutes in the game. This might be a 25-minute soul.
There's something that we really need to point out during most of the matches is that when you're pushing and crushing waves like that, just like you said, inner vision control from the top side is super important. And your idea needs to be that you need to grab the attention of the enemy jungler to your lane. You want him there. That's what Ornn does. But the lack of vision on the top side, in general, even at this very moment where he has absolutely no information on where three of the five members of the enemy team are present, it's an absolute. It could be a huge problem.
Ultimate, the arrow comes down. He has to burn the flash. And interestingly enough, we're going to see the Divine Sunder angle taken away as the Ornn comes down. They're going to look for it. And actually, he takes a path into the river. Soraka throws down the CC. They're going to be able to pick up a much-needed kill onto him as the Berserker goes down. That's going to be an ultimate from the Showmaker. The Haymaker falling up will pick up a kill onto the support. The Galio will fall down. He will knock up the Graves, though, as Graves tries to fight for his life, but it will not be enough. The ultimates are just too strong. Ornn has no ability to turn this fight.
Seth doing the redemption arc. Doing an absolute amazing damage over there, and we can actually see the gold right now. And Seth has definitely bounced back, being 200 gold ahead of the Ornn.
And that's just not what you want. You had such a strong lead, and it's just gone through team fighting. And looks like we're going to see another missed look as he's going to walk forward. Alun actually gets caught out here trying to help his teammate, and he will actually pay the final price, and that will be a complete wipe of all members as they turn their eyes back onto the Baron. Soraka and Zoe, 2v5.
And now, 3 people up. They're going to the Baron, but we are not pretty sure that if they're going to be able to come down. It's going to be disastrous for the guys over at Cloud9 if they miss this Drake, and that's not going to happen. Or is it? Let's find out.
And that's actually Flash getting. Okay, that's not his Flash. That's the
It's a
Summer
W, it's a
Flash.
W.
Okay. Zoe doing Zoe things.
Absolutely balanced, am I right? Am I right?
Yeah. This needs to be a mid turret take. Everyone should stick here and shove this turret in, and they should take the objective bounty. But looks like Graves is really wanting to potentially get more prio within his own jungle, which is totally acceptable. He might feel weak right now, as looks like we're gonna see the set approached. His second full item.
He's not really behind from the Viego, just like 200 gold. So it speaks wonders the fact that he needs that extra damage at this very moment. Because this build, even though it's meta and everything, and a lot of people seem to rave about it, I never saw it like a damage dealing build. You feel me?
Oh, the Graves one?
Yeah.
Oh, looks like that's going to be multiple taunting up, and then Zoe just can't even move, and Galio is just too tanky here. And this is simply because we have Zoe in the mid lane trying to catch waves that the AD carry should be catching. AD carries need to rotate to the mid at this point in the game because they're the only champs that can kind of match the power push of the other AD carry.
It's really funny for me because they feel like they brought out the stapler.
Yeah.
Against the Zoe, like there was absolutely no way. They timed their CC almost impeccably, and right now, look at them. 43 gold against 35.8. They are sitting pretty on a huge stack of gold, and now with 3 Drakes up top in this very moment, they are in a position where anything can go.
Yeah, and we're seeing Set do the one thing that I would love to have seen Ornn do in this game. Set's doing a really good job with this, which is taking away gold from the enemy jungler. This is really what you want to be doing when you're playing bruisers, or really a lot of top lane champions, is taking away resources from the other jungler, especially when you have a lead. Because who's going to fight you there? Who can kill the Set if he's just walking top and taking... 4 members of Iceborn at this point in the game need to be rotated, and it looks like they're giving away soul.
Absolutely. And now we're seeing the small rotation into the top tower. Right now, they are looking to go at what they're going to do. They're going to take the tower, and with it, they're going to get objective bounty right now. I'm pretty sure that I think it's still there. Yeah, they're still very behind, and they're still up for bounties.
Ooh, Set now has a level lead. And we're currently going to see Graves showing his position there. with Dragon spawning in less than 10 seconds, I just don't see a feasible way that Ice can get prio or really threaten this without just all of their members walking in and just dropping ults. And you know, it's just going to get bursted down. And Clout9, with their lead through lanes and their prio, are going to secure Soul. And they have not given a single objective all game.
Absolutely. Both Rift Heralds, everything we're
Oh,
seeing the
Ashol
engage
comes
right
down.
there.
It does not connect. They're just chasing after the flash comes through. The flash from both of them. The Berserker into the hole. Looks for a lot. They're able to just burn one summoner from the Renata, and they force away Soraka's flash. Meanwhile, we're seeing a massive Sleepy Trouble bubble come down as Aphelios looks for some good, important damage. The shutdown onto him, the flash forward. They're going to take the one pick. They're going to be able to walk away as the Haymaker goes down. He's going to hit multiple targets. The Aphelios, he has to flash. He gets CC'd up. The Haymaker will not be able to secure the kill. Meanwhile, Viego is going to pick up his own. Set will trade the ADC. That's going to be a 1-4-2. Mid lane is still getting shoved in quite strongly by the Ashe, as we're going to see the Viego picking up a free blue buff for his troubles.
Absolutely. Right now we're seeing a very good positioning and very good awareness. They knew exactly where they needed the wards, and the set TP'd instantaneously. It was a really good display of coordination for the guys over at Cloud9. From being way behind during the early game to being in a very respectable position at this very moment with almost 10k of gold in top of them, means that they are right now sitting pretty, waiting for the defining buffs that appear in the game in the form of Baron Nashor and the Elder Drake.
Yeah, for sure. I really would like to see Iceborn get more of those looks when the enemy over positions, but then just back out. You got a pick. You got an objective bounty. That's amazing. Why are you pushing the fight further? You don't have any more ultimates, and that's something that's going to mistake that can get them killed. And now the Vision Wars begin.
Yeah, right now they're in a position where if they are out of position, even for just a second, it could be the absolute obliteration of them.
Spires looks for something here. He'll find the Galio. He'll actually get rooted up. That will be a potential look. The stopwatch comes through. A massive 4-man will come through as we're going to see Spires walk away. The ultimate comes down. His ultimate will go through. He will get the CC taunt up as Galio only hits one there. Aphelios with a massive ultimate. Not going to be able to secure any kills. Zoe will fall in return as Set's looking to look for something. He will just take some damage and walk away, but Galio living on a literal smidge of HP makes Iceborn feel so bad on that play.
Absolutely. Right now, the guys over at Cloud9 have been working towards what you said. Their objective is catching people off guard. And right now, that's exactly what they've kept during everything.
Now it's just a slow bleed out. They've got a 10k gold lead. They're going to pick up Baron. They're going to push in the side waves. They're going to get inhibitors, and the game will just kind of crumble away from Iceborn.
Yeah, from being up the top to being at the bottom, well, friend, that's the life of a League player. That's how it works.
Yeah, and this is a real showing of just how strong their mental is, because they were quite far behind. A lot of their laners were just not doing incredibly well, especially Set. And now we're seeing him, even though he's down in CS, he's got a ton of kills, he's got so much impact within the series, and his team is just sitting very comfortably.
Absolutely. We're seeing the upside down Among Us from the Viego W right there. The Viego E, right? It's the passage. I want to check it out. I totally forgot. Yeah, it's the harrowing path. Yeah, it sometimes happens when you haven't played a champion like in a month or something like that, and you totally forget the order of the abilities.
Yeah. Currently, we're seeing the level leads being very prominent as Superbot has a 2-level lead over Alune here, and they're just the 2-level lead in the jungle. They're going to break through the mid turret looking for the inhibitor. Meanwhile, bot side, they're trying to defend it. All 4 members are grouping up. Ornn is not in the base. And the ultimate from the Ashe will connect. That will be a pick onto Zoe. Zoe will fall here, and that will be the look that they need to end this game. The flash coming out from both. Soraka pops the ultimate. She's looking for something. The Ornn ult comes down. He will look to get a 3-man knockup, but with no follow-up.
Aphelios does no damage to kill anyone, and they're just going to take the ultimates in the face and just look to push in 2 inhibitor waves to look for the kills. They're going to get the taunts up onto both of them. He goes golden. Berserker is so strong. Alune and D try to do something here, and the Haymaker will finish off 2 enemies inside their own Nexus turrets, and that will be a confident 24-8 at 30 minutes for Clout9 with a very confident turnaround.
From the moment that that we started this very first match all the way to Hill, there was absolutely no way in hell that you would have been able to predict that this was going to happen.
The beauty of League.
Absolutely. Straight up, dude. But yeah, something that you're saying in the comments, like Orn being the only consistent CC on their team is not a good look into a team that has as much lockdown as C9.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I want to take a moment to really talk about the damage that occurred within that game. Is if we even look after that game, the total damage champion stats, we're seeing Ornn out damage every member of his team by quite he out damaged everyone in that lobby.
At
That's
least
the
seven,
truth.
at least seven, at least 7K on the team, on his teammates.
Yeah, and he outdamaged
But
Set
yeah.
by about 1,000 himself. I think this really is more to how Iceborn approached that draft and how they executed, because they obviously approached the draft and they got a lead early on. And the way that they continue to execute their team composition for the way that they wanted to
Hmm.
win was just not ideal. And Cloud9 executed their team comp even from behind in the way that they should execute it from ahead. So
Yeah.
as soon as they got a swing of gold back, it just kind of kept riding that wave, that tempo advantage. And I think Iceborn need to change up how they play, because picking all 3 losing lanes here is not going to be able to give you any prio in the jungle. You're just going to lose every objective. And on Cloud9, just keep doing what you're doing, picking those team fight ultimates, because you're just rocking everybody.
Yeah. Look at this comment that I'm actually really cool. This is from our beautiful chat on the Titan Esports channel here at Twitch, and it comes from Squishy Target, which says that Ice would have won if they snowballed correctly. After set dice, 2 you gank Orn, freezes Graves, reganks Free Rift. I think that's where they went wrong, and we can actually think, and I believe that that's also correct. That's something that happened straight up.
Yeah. With that, we need to consider how are these teams going to approach the second game, because Iceborn, it is a best. It's a multiple game series. How are they going to change?
Hmm.
Or are they going to change? That's the real approach. 'Cause that's what matters when you're not playing a best of 3. When you play more games, the ability to adapt, sorry, within a series matters more. We've seen it from even DRX, the world champions. When they played throughout, they lost most of their game ones. Actually, they lost almost every single game one of a series they ever played in a
Yeah.
best of 5. But they were able to adapt over the courses of those games and turn stuff around. So, do you have anything else that you want to talk about for this game, or?
I'm pretty sure that we can dial back while we're on the draft. Right now, we are out for a break, and we will see you guys in just a couple of minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome, everyone, to the second game of the semifinals here at the Gladiator League at Titan Esports. Today, I'm accompanied with my friend Flash on Flash of Night. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. You're good.
So right now we're going to go into the second draft, which is really so the this draft has been what the first draft was very all over the place because it had really good things on one side on both sides, but in the end there were really essential problems. Like for example, on the side of Iceborn, they didn't have they had like reliable CC, but they didn't have but they were not able to get like their carries ahead enough. Like Aphelios that wasn't able to ramp up and stuff like that. And right now we are on the draft. We're seeing the Karthus ban again, and we're seeing the Jumi ban.
Get the Yumi out of here. I hate the cat. But the question more is, why are you banning it on blue side? The Iceborne have taken blue side in this game, and they could pick it. If they don't feel comfortable, makes sense to ban. But it looks like we're staying with the same bans for the most part.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Right now, we're seeing the graves. Now Iceborne is getting rid of of the graves, which makes perfect sense if we're if we're honest, because that graves was pretty annoying. If Cloud9 is able to actually get it, they were able to do very early damages against them on the side of Iceborne, on the side of C9. But right now, I'm pretty sure that what they're trying is to like get really good picks. And right now, Iceborne is getting the Viego.
Yep, Viego is a pretty strong snowball jungler. We kind of saw it, and we're going to see the instant lock-in from Kindred Seraphine. Kindred's ultimate kind of negates a lot of Viego's power, in the sense that he can't get repossesses. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, it does keep him alive. Viego really relies on basically going in, killing someone, losing a lot of his HP in the attempt to get that repossess, to get that HP, that invulnerability, to look for the follow-up, to keep going. And we're seeing the Aatrox come in from Iceborne, and they feel good with this top lane matchup, and they want to look to get leads with it.
Absolutely. Aatrox is one of those champions that can get really strong. He has been nerfed from what we saw on Worlds during the past couple of patches, which means that he might not be as explosive and dominant as he once was, but there's still a chance for him to do an absolute insane amount of damage.
Oh yeah, the healing, the damage that comes through is very strong, and we're seeing the Varus hover from Iceborne here, another champion that was seen at Worlds that has a lot of just ultimate utility value and catching someone out. It's kind of like an Ashe arrow, except for obviously it doesn't have the distance. But if it does catch someone out, it does spread. It's a very much like a pandemic ultimate where it like just spreads to everybody within the enemy team that are in that area, and just all of a sudden one player can get stunned and take additional damage from Varus's abilities to the entire team is now CC'd and taking additional damage, which can be quite deadly. Maybe we'll see some incredible Baron steals, some Dragon steals. We'll see maybe a Guma in this Titan Esports matchup, but the
Mm-hmm.
Darius and the Aatrox matchup, holy, the Dunk Master shows up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Right now, Darius could be considering the same power level as Aatrox. Like Aatrox can play really well and can definitely outplay the Darius, but the same applies to him. He just needs 5 auto attacks, and you're essentially dead.
Auto attacks go burr. He just gets the
Yeah.
auto. Oh, wait. You take a ton of additional damage and bleed now? Thanks for being
Oh,
kind.
that's so sad, dude.
And we're going to see two more mid laners from Clout just being banned away. They're really forcing Iceborne's mid lane pool to get shrunk by quite a bit. And meanwhile, Iceborne targeting the opponent's bot side. They really want to make sure that Clout9 has an AD carry, or at least has a support that isn't able to just lock down Varus. And we're going to see the Karma Hover, which does have some lockdown potential, but can't really just run down Varus or engage on him instantly if he makes one misstep.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Right now, we're looking into the Karma pick, and we're seeing that once again, Cloud9 got rid of the Silas and the Victor,
Makes
which
sense.
has been a really interesting fight. At the same time, we're seeing the Soraka pick and the Karma pick, which both of them really good consistency boosters.
Oh,
We might
Seer!
be
I
Oh, we're
love
seeing the
Azir.
Azir.
I love
Ooh,
Azir. I'm so happy to see this.
that's right. Yeah, right now on Iceberg Jazz composition, I really like how they're handling everything. Like their composition overall looks to be not all over the place. Rather, they have like consistent characters on both sides, and it's working beautifully.
I think the main thing that Iceborn is doing well in or doing at least better than in the first draft is adapting their later champion picks to take advantage or at least counter in some regard Clout Nines. And I think that really wasn't done as well as I would like when they were on red side
Mm-hmm.
last game. So I like that they're picking the Azir here just because Azir into Kindred is one of those unique interactions where Azir can actually push members of Kindred's team out of the Kindred ult. And all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden you go from playing like you can't die to, oh wait, I'm at 200 HP and just Thanos
Outside
snaps
of
out of
my
it.
no kill zone.
Yeah, which can be quite scary for champions like Karma, like Kindred. But we're gonna see it actually be a Seraphine Karma bot lane with Ari mid into Azir.
Mm-hmm. We're seeing a like okay, so we're seeing a bunch of AP damage on their side, but due to the composition of Iceborne, that could actually work. So I want to be casual optimistic about how Cloud9 is going to play this match because they essentially do have an ADC because that's exactly
Yeah,
what Kindred is in the jungle.
yeah, Kindred is very strong as an AD carry or like marksman jungle champion.
Uh
But
huh.
Kindred, regardless if you have a traditional ADC or not, is considered to be a feast or famine champ. Um, because of
Absolutely.
how her marks work, we if you know how Kindred's marks stack and where they're going to go, it's easier to abuse Kindred and prevent her from snowballing. Kindred wants that fourth mark. That fourth mark is an insane power spike because it
Mm-hmm.
gives her additional range and just gives her a lot more. Like she just gets a ton of free stats, and it's really strong. So if she doesn't get that mark quickly, Iceborne are able to basically play around the fact that Cloud9's jungler will need to scale into this game through those marks, but if they don't have the ability to invade or to pick up the Gromp or get Scuttle Prio or get those early marks, Kendra's clears will suffer compared to Viego's. So
Mm-hmm.
that is the nice part about Iceborne's draft. Unfortunate, good part for Cloud9 though, they got some shoving waves again. They got some
Yeah.
lane prio.
They have a lot. They're going to have a lot of poke. They're going to have a lot of consistent damage, and that stuff is what we really like to see. Right now, we will have to see if Iceberg is going to be able to really. They have been shown to be able to retain a very good early game and having problems transitioning into mid to late game. But right now, Cloud9 might be able in this might be going to suffer from the same position because if any of those picks fall behind, it's going to be really hard to push them back up.
Yeah. For me the most pivotal matchup within this entire for both these teams is mid bot. I think top lane is going to kind of be the same thing we saw last game where really whoever gets ahead doesn't have that much immediate impact on the game compared to bot lane. If Azir gets really far ahead of Ari, he can
Mm-hmm.
just threaten her with multiple abilities that can just push her under tower or force her ultimate away through ganks, shuffling her into his own tower if he freezes the wave outside of it, or looking for roams with shoving massive waves. Same goes for Varus though. Varus could get absolutely frozen on and just ulted and charmed by Seraphine and Karma, just raw AP damage and just
Flat out
kill him
staple to the ground.
and staple him to the ground. So there is a lot of opportunity for mistakes and success between both these teams' drafts, and it really
Mm-hmm.
comes down to the pilot. Whoever can
Yeah.
pilot their team comms in better will come out ahead. We're not dealing with challenger level players who are going to be playing perfectly. People make mistakes. People are human. SKT is human. DRX are human. Everyone can make mistakes. It just comes down to can you make less and can you abuse the mistakes that your opponents make?
Yeah. Right now, both sides seem pretty consistent in their own way, and I'm pretty sure that they will be able to. Both teams will be able to put everything they've got into the rift. But right now, we're going to go into a short break. But before that, we need to announce that the guys over at Elysium got game one against the guys over at what was the name? The ISM All Star Gold. So right now, we will be
First seeds
waiting
are up
for their
1.
second game. Yeah, they're one up.
First seeds, baby. First seeds.
Absolutely. So right now, we will be out for just a second, and we'll be back. Welcome everyone to the second game of the Gladiator League semifinals between. Okay, hold on to your butts because we are in the Iceborn Ya versus the Cloud9. And Cloud9 has 1.2 them. The guys who are at Cloud9 are actually playing on the red side against the guys over at Iceborn Ya that are playing on the blue side. Today is accompanying my friend Flash of Night, and right now we are at the Titan Esports Gladiator League and their channel on Twitch. So how are you, Mr. Flash?
Doing incredible. Game 1 was so hype. Clout9 played an incredible draft with their team fight composition and taking advantage of it. So I have really
Mm-hmm.
high hopes for them in the second game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but the real question, it's a best of 5 series. Can Iceborn adapt? Do
Yeah,
we see adaptations?
yeah. It's going to be pretty difficult at this very moment. It's going to require a lot of things to be working perfectly. Now, for example, we have the Viego on the other side of the hand, because right now it's on the side of Iceborn. Yeah.
Oh, looks like we're going to see a level 1 trade and gonna looks like s- very short trades on most of these champions with lane. Really no one has prio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, level 2 prio is achieved by the Azir in mid lane, but he's taking Ari. So
Yeah.
he doesn't really have too much pressure to force trades.
At least for now, we're going to see that the Kindred needs to really, really fast clear and start getting those marks as soon as possible. That's their
Yeah.
win condition. That's essentially their win condition. They need a strong jungler that can deal out the 80 damage that it's going to be necessary to melt down characters like the Aatrox, for example.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see both junglers pathing towards the top side of the river, so it's very important that Azir and Aatrox here play for tempo to deny Kindred the top mark. Bot lane is
Hmm.
doing a good job from Clout9 playing for Prio, just in case it is a bot lane mark that the Kindred can just run to bot lane, but look how low the Kindred is on that clear. Does have Smite available, but sitting at 300 HP.
Yeah. Right now, it's a very strange position at this very moment. We don't know exactly how
Oh,
everything
we're
is
going
going
to
to
see an
happen. Oh,
engage
and
coming down on
whoa.
the bot side. The Ignite comes through. They won't be able to follow up, and they just don't have the raw DPS numbers. They more are on the fact of just damage. They can just make trades through their ability cooldowns, and looks like we're actually going to see Kindred not achieve that mark. It's actually going to lose the Smite fight. She runs bot to pick up at least one Scuttle Crab, but not going to get that early game mark. Not going to really snowball the clear. And it looks like top lane taking a tower shot. It could be a deadly trade. And multiple tower shots, actually.
Yeah, DAT is actually getting a lot of harm coming towards him at this very moment. He needs to be a little bit careful. Aatrox is in a position that can actually sustain of the different waves, which works in a variety of different ways. But at the same time, it's so hard to make everything work because you need to be extra careful. Right now, remember they have a Kindred. A Kindred has a really good ganking potential due to the E, and at the same time, we also have something like, for example, Ari can actually hold the wave really well, has a really good wave clear. Right now, 37 CS against 29. She's looking good at this very moment, to be perfectly honest.
Azir spends a lot of his mana, a lot of his resources there punishing Ari, forcing away her potions. And he basically is going to be forced to burn TP because as soon as he leaves from base, he's going to have to actually back because
Mm-hmm.
Ari's going to come to lane with an item advantage. So he could try to play it out for a few minutes longer to try to base onto a lost chapter, but it's quite unlikely. And we're just going to see him back, picking up the amp tones. And if Ari shoves this correctly, he should lose some minions.
Yeah, right now we're seeing the
Oh,
Aatrox
oh,
up top. We're maybe going to see a small ganking the top side.
the
We're
flash might
seeing
be
that.
burned. Yes, the flash getting burned away. And that's just going to be very devastating for Aatrox because now, if a pole is connected by Darius, he could just lose out in so much. If he trades too much HP, I mean, it's just not good. Look what you want to look for. He does force the ghost, so at least trades a summoner for summoner, but
Oh, he stops the base. That's actually massive.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. He had a ward right there, so he was very
Oh.
looking forward to that. But right now we're in a dicey
Oh, Viego
situation.
misses the stun. This is actually devastating. The ultimate comes down from the Azir, but look who gets charmed. It's the Viego. He's not looking good. He gets over the wall. The Ahri is looking forward, though. She's trying to go for it. Not enough damage. No ignite. Meanwhile, on the top lane, a flash is being burned from Darius, and look how low Azir, the Ahri is. 200 HP. One bad trade, one bad W auto Q auto could end Ahri's life.
Yeah, but it's a tragedy. A tragedy. The fact that he missed the W. That stun could have been massive
Yeah, that could have
and
been a
could have
kill.
yeah, absolutely. Right now we're looking at also very well placed by Rain with the Karma, which was in a really good position at the right time. This player definitely knew what was going to come up, and maybe they didn't necessarily predict that Viego was going to come to lane, at least from that side, because he looked very safe at that very moment. Like he knew that nobody was watching him.
Interestingly enough, right now we are dealing with a Kindred with 0 marks. 0 marks
Yeah,
on Kindred means she's going to be clearing quite slow for now, and we're seeing that play out in her CS total. Even
yeah.
though she did lose out on another mark topside, that Scuttlecrab spawning, um, she's down in like 10 CS. She's down in a lot of gold value.
Yeah, absolutely. At this very moment, just as you said, a lot of its clear is going to suffer a lot, and we're not seeing any pushback. Like we're not seeing the Viego actually allow the Kindred to go to different lanes and do its thing. Rather, what we're seeing is that he's essentially capping every single side, having a lot of vision. Like they want to know when the Kindred is approaching, and it has worked in really really well. The only time that they didn't knew the Kindred was going to be up top was in that attempted gank against the Aatrox. That even though burned the Aatrox's flash, didn't matter in the long run, and actually allowed Aatrox to just fight Darius later.
He does have a 20 CS lead. He's going to be under tower here. He does pop the ultimate, and that's going to be a potential dunk for the first blood. And the Dunk Master does it. He goes down in CS, but he takes advantage of the trade under tower to win him that. And Aatrox, getting too greedy, pushes a lead and gets punished for it.
Yeah, Napquan has had a really interesting uh a really interesting, how do you say this? I totally forgot
Development,
this in English. English is hard. Uh it's not progression. It's like
development.
yeah. He has been he has been quite the interesting development during most of the matches. Like he has been doing a lot of he had a very interesting participation on the first game where he was demolished early game by Diete as Ornn. But right now, that outplay, like he knew that Aatrox was going to go greedy and Q on their tower, and that's exactly what he went for, and it ended up working in spades.
Yeah. We're gonna see a mark. Should see another Kindred mark spawn on this bot side Scuttle Crab. I just don't. Yep,
Yep.
Viego is not gonna be able to get there in time though. Will we see the bot lane roam up? They can't because mid lane doesn't have prio, and that will be the first mark for Kindred at 9 minutes and 30 seconds into this match.
Oof.
Not what you want to see.
Yeah, this is not looking very, very good. It can look up, definitely. But I think Kindred has like, I think it's 4 minutes in between changing marks. We're seeing the Darius Ghost,
He
and
has
he's
the
out.
ghost. He's out. No one is
Yeah.
there. Kindred tries a counter gank, but there's no camps available.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't get a lot. It looks like Herald will be started, but look at that top lane wave.
No fun allowed. No fun allowed. You're not getting counter jungle. Woo!
Oh, another fight. He has the dunk. Oh my god. The Dunk
Oof.
Master does it again!
Forcing Deity to burn ultimate. He doesn't even need flash. He doesn't need ghost. And he steals the Herald! No! How are they getting away with this every time?
A
And Viego
very
ults out!
unfortunate turn of events, dude. Absolutely. We're seeing the Kingdom with just one
Kindred
mark.
failed the jump too!
over the wall. What is going on? Is it nerves?
It's magic. It's magic. I promise. It's wizards. Wizards are messing with our game.
Oh my gosh. And now that will allow an important plate to get picked up, and the gold lead swings to Darius for the first time in this series. The CS lead is meaningless, and we'll see a potential gank. He has the shuffle. He can look to shuffle her with Viego in the range, but he doesn't want to do it. He's saving it for this
Yeah,
dragon.
I mean, you need to be. These people need to be very cautious on what's happening. He could have Shuriman shuffled the Kindred, but there was a big chance of Ari just waltzing through the lane like it's her home and grabbing you with a charm. And I think it's better how they played it in a more, you could say, conservative way.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to see a mid lane prio getting picked up by the Ahri as Azir bases and picks up Crown here.
Mm-hmm.
Going for the safety option, Crown picked up in most of the lanes where he can just get charmed down, potentially dies. Want to make sure that doesn't happen. It looks like they're going to look for Rin here. The ultimate is still available. It will miss, though, from Varus. Looks for it. The Sun will miss again. Kindred's on the way. That's going to be the ultimate, a three-man charm. That's going to be both of them as Alun uses the cleanse as best he can. That will be the charm coming up as Ari's going to look for another kill. Jungler will trade support for support. And meanwhile, Alun burns his flash. He's trying to do some alcove gaming. He's trying his best. He can't do it. His team, the ultimate from Kindred, will save him. Alun has a second longer of life. Kindred shows up. Actually, sorry, I mean Karma does. The ultimate. Oh my god, it's Viego. He's doing what he needs to do. He picks up one. He picks up two. He's looking for the triple. And he's going to almost get it. The Kindred has to walk away. And he gets away with murder of three members with Alcove Gaming.
Dude, that was insane because the Viego made the perfect use of everything that was given to him during that match. Like every single opportunity, he took it and performed beautifully. And right now, we're going to see him actually punish the guys over at Cloud9 because he's definitely going to go for that Divine Sunderer from the get-go.
Yep, and now I want to point out that Kindred, she does still have one mark at 13 minutes. She has one dragon to her name and a herald through a sneaky steal. But this is the most important part for Kindred is how fast can she finish that first item. Because that first item, Power Spike, is quite strong. Really for most junglers in general, but looks like Ahri could be roaming to top side. Darius looks for a potential kill threat. The vision is so strong.
Yeah.
Holy
Right
crap.
now, it appears the Azir doesn't have any kind of vision on top of the Ari.
Oh,
But right now,
he could. The charm will miss. He's going to look for the stream and shovel. He will pick up one. Ari's trying to pull him down. He does have the ultimate. She'll dash through, actually. He still has flash, but he will save it. He knows he's gone. Meanwhile, on the top side, the flash comes out from Diate. The healing, the dunk master will do it again. He is unstoppable. One after another. Aatrox thinks he has it. He flashes early to reset the auto, but it doesn't work like that. And the dunk master does it.
he's just living out with the skin of his teeth. It's so absolutely insane. But right now, kudos. The Kindred actually got its second mark right now.
Mark of the game, baby.
And he dropped the Herald on top side.
And we're going to see a potential bot lane dive. Ahri without ultimate is not going to have the kill threat here. Actually, he's going to find the charm instantly. And it looks like Alun will walk right into his own grave. No, Sirach. Actually, I spoke too soon. Azir is looking for something. He has not, but he's actually not going to use the WEQ to engage there. That could have been a potential look on to the enemy mid laner. Herald will be popped top. They're going to try to finish this off. And look who's here, it's the Kindred.
They're having some conservative thoughts, but hold on, let me pass it right to you.
Nope, nothing. I was getting ready for it, but nothing's gonna happen there.
I'm liking the conservative thoughts of the Azir, and his positioning and the awareness that he has against the people that are present on the map at certain moments. Okay. Ooh.
Oh, they're gonna look for this play. They're gonna get the additional proc. Meanwhile, on bot side, we're currently seeing the ultimates being used. He's going to pick up a kill. Smokey, almost all of the kills of his team are along his board, trying to provide some sort of pressure with the cross map. We'll pick up some much needed gold.
Bot lane looking actually quite good, given the fact that they don't have any kills. Their ADC has been ganked quite a bit by the enemy Kindred, not taking some great trades. But he's doing strong in terms of his gold value. He's actually ahead thanks to plates and assists.
Yeah, right now we're seeing, but still, it's something that we've said during the whole match. 60 minutes in, just 2 marks. Essentially, she has gotten 1 mark every 8 minutes
Yeah,
on games that usually take around 32 to something minutes. So, if my math is correctly, she's going to have like 6 marks at the pace that she's going right now, and that's not good because the big power spike of Kindred comes at 8.
yeah. I will say your math's kind of wrong. If you're going 8 a
Okay.
minute and a game's 32 minutes, it should be like 4.
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, it's even worse. Yeah,
but
you know. Yeah, but
it's
given the benefit of the doubt of her getting
yeah,
like
she'll get some
Drakes and a
kills.
couple of kills,
Yeah, that is
like
true.
she's gotten 1 kill and 2 assists, which puts her 50% kill participation.
Yeah. Oh,
Which okay,
Aatrox gonna see the Dunk Master just making some pretty conservative trades, and he does not have Ghost, but he will be available soon. Kindred
let's
is
put the
looking for
prediction board.
something.
Let's put the prediction board right now. We're seeing the Azir and the Viego running up top, so there might be a skirmish up there.
Oh, no dunks. And that's just gonna be both of them walking away. But will Azir get caught here? He flashes the Everfrost. Not
Mm-hmm.
just not just the charm. The Everfrost in of itself has to be burned by flash, and the top diff that we saw in game 1 does not seem to be existing for Iceborn in game 2, and it's allowing more jungle invade, more jungle pressure.
And what could have been Kindred's very coveted third mark
Oh,
was not
another
meant to
gank.
be.
That's going to be a sidestep. And Smokey is just struggling so hard to hit these. And he will not be CC'd. But he will make it out. Smokey.
Very good double cast on the Ari.
Yeah, Ari is doing a great job, and really her team collectively. It's just Viego is like not able to hit any of these stuns at these
Mhm.
close ranges because he's just getting sidestepped. I mean, I don't know if we're as fakers in this lobby or something, but dude, he just can't hit one to save his life, and that's not his fault because he's right close to them. They're just sidestepping like gods.
Yeah, they're in a really interesting position right now. What needs to be done during most of this game is going to be, well, we're actually seeing the fact that Viego and everyone are trying to get the third Drake. And
Secure
right
it.
now with the Ocean Soul, yeah, this is not something that you want on a
Oh,
We're going
Viego
to
and an
see
Aatrox.
Aatrox 1v1ing the Kindred. Forces the ultimate. And looks like they're going to see the Darius show up. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, that's going to be the flash from Viego. The flash over the wall from Ari. She will have the ultimate to get out. Meanwhile, Kindred burns her own ultimate, her own flash, just to prevent herself from dying 1v1 to the Aatrox. But look who's there in the shadows inside the bush. It's the Dunk Master himself. But he will walk away. He's almost got the completed item. He's almost got the completed Trinity Force.
Mm-hmm. Right now, we're in a position that I don't know if Trinity Force was absolutely the right call, but as ahead as he is, at least kill wise and kill pressure wise in the lane, yeah, it's a pretty interesting
I
thing.
think
But right now, let's see if the Kindred will be
Oh,
going up.
yeah, it'll question. He's gonna get actually. He has the flash. He's gonna have to flash that additional ability, but he could get pulled back in. He's gonna be under tower. He's gonna get the Dunk Master. He's gonna get the kill and the. Oh my God!
He's out.
He's out.
No,
1
no, no, no,
HP.
no.
No. And it's gonna be Spires going in. He's trying to help his teammate. He's trying to redeem, and the slow from the Azir soldiers is too much. They're able to trade the kill 1-for-1. The
And they got
Herald is
Smokey,
dropped.
and the Herald got no, but the Herald got stuck. He didn't know what to do.
Oh, you're right. This could be a potential kill, though. Varus needs 1 Q just to finish off Seraphine, but it looks like he's going to be basing here. He does not have ult. He'll actually find Rin. He walks up. He's looking for the kill. He will not be able to flash, but he's going to burn it anyway. The ultimate is not going to be able to cancel his auto as Ari shows up. The CC from both. She's going to charm the enemy ADC and have to instantly R out, as we're going to see Diete looking for an additional follow-up. He will finally secure his first kill on this Aatrox, and Iceborn is looking incredibly strong on this bot lane. Game 1, they looked behind, but game 2, they're ahead, and that's the first tower of the game at 20 minutes.
A lot of very unfortunate situations. The Seraphine ulted straight away, and the basic attack came out just before getting hit, just before getting charmed. And that was something that was pretty sad. At the same time, that instant teleport from the Aatrox definitely caught everyone off guard. And right now, well, we're having to see if Cloud now will be able to handle the pressure. They were able to handle the pressure once, but right now it feels a little different. But pretty close because they're only 200 goal behind.
For sure, we're currently seeing this continuing to develop. The Dragon lead that Iceborn has developed is going to give them scaling time, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on Kindred and her teammates to make plays. Another
Kindred, of
potential
course.
gank, though.
The CC will not be hit, but the ultimate is actually going to be connected through a loon. The sidestep one, you hit another, and they will take the mid tower.
Right now, the Kindred is in a very it's actually a really bad
The
position.
ultimate
because
comes down. It will connect into the Soraka. She will fall. The ultimate will not be enough, and that will
Among
be trading 1 for
Us.
1.
Look at the Among Us right there.
My god.
You haven't seen like this is the first time you noticed it.
No, I just don't look for Among Us and everything.
That's the
I'm
joke.
sorry.
It came out that thing came out like in one place in the in one tweet in one tweet, and I've seen it ever since with that specific skin. With all the other ones, I don't even notice, but on that one is especially visible.
Maybe EDG JJ is just a massive Among Us fan. I have no idea.
It's so stupid. I love it.
As this game progresses into the 3rd and 4th dragons for both these teams, it's going to be really important to see how these ultimates are used, because the Seraphine ultimate, even behind, has a lot of value. So if her team is able to play with that and the Kindred ultimate, it'll be great. But the Azir shuffle is the one counter to all of that.
Yeah. That's one of those combos that can flat out. It's like at one time, the Lee Sin insect.
Yep.
It was exactly that.
Oh, they're going to catch out Viego here. He will be charmed up. He'll have no way to get out. He will die instantly, but that will be the ultimate coming out from Kindred. They're going to save the multiple members of their team. But it looks like Spires is not going to go through. He flashes out. He still has the ability with the shuffle. Gonna see some damage getting dropped. They have no tower. He's trying to sidestep the charm, and he does. Spire drops his own turret in mid lane. It will be gone. 2 members fall from ice, allowing Clout9 to gain priority on this dragon.
And with it, I think it's going to be actually a mark for Kindred.
No, the
No,
mark
no,
is
no,
on
no, no, it's not.
Krugs. It will
Yeah.
not be a mark, unfortunately.
Yeah. Right now, it's in a very dicey situation because she is definitely Little Lamb is starving for its marks.
She does have
But
5
right
off these recent fights and hitting 6 by taking this bot
Look,
lane camp.
look, we actually are on time. Like if
Yeah.
she doesn't get a single
Oh,
mark,
look who's here.
Azir, why are you not using your R earlier? And he gets the kill, though, with his teammates following up. But Azir is being a little too conservative with these ultimates, in my opinion. He's the playmaker with the Viego in these fights. He can flip around a lot of the immobile champions in the
Yeah.
bot side of Clout9, and he needs to be doing that to abuse the Kindred ultimate as much as possible.
also something a little greedy from the Kindred is that the player actually like Keopon actually wanted the whole camp rather than just getting the big Krog, getting the stack and getting out. And that's something that that could have put a dampen on. Like he was 1-5, he was 6 kills in, and he had a lot of money on it. And that shutdown definitely put him in a very dicey situation.
Looks like we're going to see another fight happen in the top side. Looks like Darius is going to try to do something to get out. He burns the ghost. He burns the flash. Flash actually burned from Deity there on the Aatrox, and he's not able to follow up there. And he's going to get a full summoner, and they're going to be able to look to take some sort of vision in the top side here, but catching Darius on the overpress.
Yeah, right now they're asking for a little bit of solemnity on this side. They're talking about a little bit of lag or something. But right now, we need to look at what's going to happen
might
next.
be caught out though. He's going to be doing the same thing that happened to the top laner. He will get CC'd up. He will just have a minute longer. He will not survive, though, as Spires drops his own TP. Darius has shown up, though, getting some good damage from the likes, as looks like Elune, though, misses his ultimate. He will connect it on to King, and pushing the enemy jungler to such a low amount of HP allows him to potentially keep the Baron out of the hands of Clout9.
In this very moment, we are having a really bad situation for Kindred because it's essentially a minus right now. It hasn't really gotten to that point. We are almost on time because we said something like around 6, and it's looking very rough right now to get actually the marks.
Got 6 marks at 26 minutes, which is quite fine, but Azir misses an important shuffle, not able to find the kill. But they still are giving up a lot in the mid and the bot side to fight here. Ahri has just been free farming.
Yeah. Now 208 CS. It's in a really good spot. And right now, if we want to see the goal right now, the gold on the Ahri is significantly bigger than the Azir. Ahri is sitting at an overall total gold of 10k, while the Azir is barely scraping the 9k.
Yeah, and that's just mostly through kills alone. Ahri
Yeah.
has tower and kill gold that Azir just can't compete with, and that's where a lot of her team's objective leads are coming with, are from
Or
the
is something
CS.
percent of kill participation
Yeah.
on the side of the Ahri.
Hopefully we can see Cloud9 use these leads to progress further and use it to get a pick. And it looks like we're going to see a potential fight from Kindred. Aatrox goes through. Kindred will be CC'd up. They're going to look for some sort of kill. They want to force the ultimate. He's going to burn his out, forcing the Kindred to use her own ultimate to stay alive a little longer as Fletcher's going to show him forward. He flashes over the wall. Meanwhile, the charm comes down from Ahri as she is forced to use her own ultimate to reposition. Looks like they're going to look for some sort of engage. They're going to follow up. Looks like they're trying to keep him alive a little longer. The Kindred ultimate will come through. 2 members of Iceborn are CC'd here, as looks like Azir cannot move out to save his life. You pick up a single member of the enemy team here. Looks like Kindred wants to jump the wall. They will get the CC. This shovel will come through, but the charm is too much. Loon cannot protect his teammates. He is CC'd. He flashes the double CC, the double knockup. He has no ultimate, though. Soraka keeping them healthy, and that's going to be the massive meatball of Clout9. Just team fight gods here. And just going to be looking to take an entire wipe of the enemy team. As the Loon looks to run, he's trying to make a way out. He's trying to get some poke damage, potentially taking one with him on his way out. He walks towards the enemy tower. He's going to do some good arts. He's going to dodge an ability. No, he's actually going to dodge every single CC. He walks into the bush. He loses the minion prow. They have no vision. He gets down one. He gets a massive shutdown that he needs, but it will still be for all 5 members of Ice falling. They lose the middle tower, and Dragon's on the horizon.
2 things. Just during that fight, just like the restaurant, the guys over at Cloud9 played in and out. And the other thing was that Kindred didn't get a single mark during all of that.
Yeah,
It's still sitting at 6.
It's her participation in the fights. She has to damage marked enemies.
Yeah.
So if she doesn't damage anyone within a few seconds of them dying, she just doesn't get the participation. But now, with such a high mark counter, she's only really getting marks from kills or major objectives.
Absolutely. Well, I think not quite yet. I think she's sitting at 6 still. Yes, and I think the marks to objectives come around 8 or something like that. I'm not 100% sure.
She should be looking more towards enemy Krugs or enemy Gromp still, just to be picking up the mark. If not that, it has to be on major objectives. There's just no other camps on the map. She's rotated past all of the Gromps. They don't mark. I don't know the specific Kindred marks. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a Kindred main.
Yeah, it doesn't say exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's after the 7th or the 8th mark that you get to objectives, because it's every 4 marks that gives Kindred enhanced auto attack range.
It's every 3 after the first 4. And it looks like we're gonna see Ahri just solo killing the bot side, forcing the Soraka ultimate, and the wave will just be gone. Look who's here, though. It's the 80 carry Loon. He will miss the ability. He will dodge this charm. He will just take the damage, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to see a massive fight break down. They're going to pick up a kill, but the Baron actually falls. And if they're giving Baron there for one member of the enemy team, it's
Not
telling me the
worth.
game is going to be the
Not a
game
very good
is not going
position.
to look very
And
well.
they only had like they had vision. Like they knew that they had that they were doing the Baron because they have the scuttler right there.
Yeah, they
So it's
have
like a
such a
huge
major look.
question mark what they end their decision making at that
Oh,
moment.
So they look for something. They get the CC up. He'll force the flash. He'll get the kill. Very good kill. That's very necessary. But look where Spires is. Spires cannot really fight here if he really wants to. He has the but if he takes any damage, he loses.
like the crown, and the crown cooldown is quite long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but right now they don't know where the rest of the team is, and there are only two people. And even though they have the Kindred ult, there's still a chance that they can flat out screw it up because Kindred ult flat out saving someone that he's about to delete with the ultimate or something like that. So they need to be a little bit careful on what's going to happen.
Yeah, currently we're seeing a very comfortable 4.5 goal lead at Dragon, also for Clout9, and they're just showing that regardless of the game state at the beginning of the game, they're very comfortable in this mid to late game where Iceborn is making the most mistakes.
Yeah. They're forcing really, really big fights and they're playing they're playing the spacing game, and I feel that that's something that talks a lot about how they play the lanes and how they play everything. Right now, Kindred is sitting at 7 marks at 32 minutes, which puts us just one more mark than what we said was going to happen for the Kindred during this match.
Yeah, and she's at 32 minutes with 7 marks, which is actually quite good given how the game state. It could definitely be worse as a Kindred player. But this could definitely be better. As we're going to see a fight come down on the bot side. The flash will be burned. And Azir walks away as it looks like he's going to go through. He's going to look for the dunk. The flash coming out. He does have the shielding.
Boom.
And
And looks like he will take one. The ultimates will come onto him and Ari. The ultimates follow forward. He actually flashes out. And Azir, he
Oh
can't
my
save
God.
anyone. He will get dunked too with a triple kill. Meanwhile, Loon and the Soraka are on the backside. Will he get a penta, though, is the question here. He will not get the kill. He gets one. They're going to try to give him the penta. They're looking for it. They knows he wants it. And he's going to take the kill. Ari is the teammate to secure it in the end. And the top lane, Darius, is fuming.
Absolutely. I actually don't think he was really fuming. They were in a very good fight because the Darius.
Game.
The worst part was that even though Aatrox was actually healed by the Starfall, by the Wisha of Soraka, he still one-shotted the Aatrox half health.
Yeah, and they're just ending the game here. That's going to be a very strong lead. 9,000 again. They're just absolutely playing these mid to late game fights so well. And Clout9 takes Iceborn to game point and puts them at a reverse sweep as their only option. And Iceborn, their mental seems to be waning. They're making more mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
they need to change something. They lost on red side. They lost on blue side.
What's
Something needs
left?
to change.
What's left? What's left for us? So overall, a really crazy game. I think we've come to a point that we've solidified how Cloud9 plays. That even though they may have like a rough mid game, they can still pull through in the mid game. So maybe in the mid to late game. So we have to be really careful that every single time that we do some sort of how do you say this? Every time we do some sort of prediction, because the Cloud9 factor is real.
Yeah, Cloud9. My kudos to them. They are playing incredible. They're team fighting. They know when to back off, when they know when their cooldowns are, and they're punishing the enemy team from overstepping and also playing the side lanes there. They're putting Ari there to push in. When the enemy team responds with too many members, they respond and they take Baron. So far, incredible job with the macro game and those mid to late fights. The more pressure, though, is on Iceborn because Iceborn need to make something happen or it's out. Season ends, you walk away from getting 3-0'd in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm. that this is not unheard of, okay? Like these things can happen, and it's not like they are playing badly or anything like that. It's just that the other guys are playing out of their minds when 15 minutes roll in. And that's something that I find that is really, really funny.
With that, I think we're going to go to a short break before we drop into the game 3 with Iceborn on game point. I'll say it one more time, game point, because if you lose here, all of your previous wins don't matter. I mean, that's the
Mm-hmm.
unfortunate thing is no one's going to be looking back and being like, "Oh man, we could have like look at this team. They lost 3-0 in semis. They're not going to know the potential that you have. This is the moment that you have to turn around. Get your spirits high, get your team together, and try to make a run, to make a return, make a reverse sweep. DRX did it against EDG. We've seen players do it in all levels of competitive. If you want to continue your playing of Gladiator League, you need to make something happen. Otherwise, Clout9 are just going to flex all over you and look like they're going to be cruise sailing straight into finals.
Absolutely. Well, we'll be right back in the Titan Esports Gladiator League semifinals. See you guys then. And now, what could possibly be the third and last match of today's semifinals here at the Titan Esports Gladiator League with me, my friend Flash of Night. I, Stefu, and our amazing producer Luking are here into the third and possibly final draft. Ah, you like that?
Get rid of the cat. That champion is so annoying. I don't even care that we haven't seen it in any of these games. You
Dude,
know it. I know it. We've all played against it. The cat is a cancer.
I love it. I love it. I think it was Tobias Fate that did like a joke saying, "Yeah, the creature," referring to Yumi.
Oh my gosh.
And for the life of me, I cannot think of anything else. Iceborn is getting rid of the Kindred and the Graves. The Graves was picked by them on game one, and the Kindred was picked by Cloud9 on game two. And they don't want to see the Jumi. Cloud9 played Viego on the first game, but right now they don't want to leave the choice for them to go back into Viego, which to me is a very interesting position in general. Like they did really, really well on that. And we're seeing the guy's first pick a little bit ballsy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, Kaisa is a very ballsy first pick, but Alun, it's do or die. He's gonna go for the comfort pick here. I think he's got a lot of experience on this character, on this champion. He's going to pick it up here, but now it comes down to Clout9, who are sitting very comfortably, 0-2. How can they abuse this pick? How can they get themselves a lead and take advantage of Iceborn's comfort? And they're gonna take the Caitlyn, the outranging
That
bot
was
lane.
exactly what I was going to say. Like it's all confidence until you see the Caitlyn on the other side of the team.
And maybe we see a Lux here. Caitlyn Lux, Caitlyn Karma, just really champions that can harass in addition to playing up with Caitlyn are very strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to see more of that coming through from Cloud9 here because I think their bot lane, they did quite well when they played Wave Prio in game one, and they kind of struggled when they were playing the AP bot lane in game two. So maybe we go back to what was working. We're gonna see a
And the
gank
new.
champion, the
Ooh,
Nunu, the baller, coming in.
we be balling, bruh. But Heopon has showed me something, at least when he was Viego, that he can definitely do a lot of work by just happening. Whereas we might be having a little bit of a small hiccup over there, but everything's fine. No problem. All's good. We're seeing the Maokai pick. Really consistent booster, really good top laner in general, and we're seeing the Belbeth.
Okay, they're
Now,
really
now,
playing for that Herald play.
yeah, but okay, hear me out. I know that we saw this guy. We saw Smokey playing Viego and Graves, but I don't think Belbeth it's going to like on his level of playstyle.
Sejuani.
And we're seeing the Sejuani. Okay, they're going for full consistency. They're going for full peel, disengage, engage against their team, but they have a really good engage, disengage themselves. Just from Caitlyn from the net and the spacing and objective control that they have with the traps, it's going to make it a little bit harder for them to actually perform in the best way possible. And with the Morgana, it's going to be a little bit harder. We
Yeah,
are defining win conditions right now in this very first pick and ban set, where we're seeing the Caitlyn and the Kaisa as the main protagonists of each team for this moment.
yeah. I think the thing is, right now, Iceport have a lot of flexibility within those two picks. The Maokai and Sejuani can rotate between top jungle, and
Mm-hmm.
with the exception of Sejuani, who can't play support, Maokai can play support. Previously, he was a support player until they reworked his ultimate and his passive. Very much still can be forced there. So we're gonna see a Darius ban coming out. They really did not like how that played within their top lane, and top lane is
Yeah.
now the focus of the second rounds of bans.
Apparently, we're seeing that. We're seeing the Urgot, the Fiora, and the Darius ban, and probably we're going to see the Set ban. Unless they want to pick Set and have Maokai go in bot. We don't totally know at this very moment. We're
Yeah,
seeing
but
the Galio ban. Galio was okay in the first game. he did some work on the side of Cloud9. But right now we're seeing the Aatrox now on the side of Cloud9. Will they
Yes.
show the guys over at Iceborn? This is something funny because Iceborn
Oh,
got the Viego
Akali?
after them, and we're seeing the
Oh?
Aatrox, and we're seeing the Akali in the mid lane.
Akali is a very strong champion, but that's also very punishable.
Dude, are
Akali
people
is
allergic to Oriana?
well, it's not even champs like Oriana. The way that you beat the Akali matchup is you either pick Sylas and you just play around your D shield passive, and you just
Yeah.
don't trade, and you take like first strike or you max Q so you can push waves, or you play champions like Azir, like
Okay.
Malzahar even,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
and Anivia. Just push the wave into Akali. Don't let her leave. She can't get kills. You're sitting comfortably.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that we're going to see a Maokai support, Malphite top, and a Kali mid lane. So Johnny jungle, of course.
Cassiopeia hover?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Cassiopeia was hovered in the first game, so there's a chance that we're going to see that.
Yeah, Cassiopeia into Akali, I believe, is Akali favored because Cassiopeia cannot stop the Akali from just engaging on her.
Well, you
Akali
can
can,
straight. I think you can stop her with your ultimate. Like you can stun her,
yeah,
and she stuns in the final location.
yeah, no, that
I'm
is
I'm
true.
sure.
I know it's only the way that I understand Cassiopeia's ult is it has the indicator, and wherever you're facing is actually the ultimate thing, and if the player is not facing you, within that indicator, they do not get frozen. So if Akali R's over Cassiopeia and a Cassiopeia reacts to her ult, and doesn't do it fast enough, Akali will just get over scot free.
Okay,
So
so I want to ask you, what are the win conditions on the Cloud9 side, and what are the win conditions on the Iceborne side? I want to hear your thoughts on
I
it.
think Iceborne's win conditions are Kai'Sa Akali. Pretty clear,
Okay,
80 carry, assassin mid laner. The assassin mid
awesome.
laner into the other side, the other Clout9 bot lane mid, quite difficult. The thing
Mm-hmm.
though with Clout9 is they can pivot from a mid lane carry position to a top lane carry position. So
Mm-hmm.
they can just play and just go straight on to getting Aatrox ahead. Yes, it is into Malphite, pretty free champion to just walk away and into an AD Aatrox, but you can still gank him or force his ultimate. Aatrox
Mm-hmm.
Malphite's biggest weakness among players who know how to play him and play against him is
Mm-hmm.
to abuse his early game.
Okay.
Abuse the ability to clear waves. Malphite's wave clearing ability is quite poor early on. That's why he
Mm-hmm.
takes Comet is to like compensate for that. So if you freeze or crash a massive wave and just dive him level 3, level 4, and when he's level 2 and you kill him, he loses so much gold that he just goes so far behind.
Mm-hmm. Also, on the other side, our friend Romeo has already informed us that Elysium has gone 2-0 against ISM, meaning that we might see a double 3-0 today. And wow, it looks to be pretty interesting.
So we are going to potentially see the 3-0 here unless Iceborne have something to say about it. Unless they can play this draft with their comfort pick Kai'Sa, they are looking at a monstrous mental gap. Because if they
No,
can act,
and there's something else. Yeah, the Kaisa may have like a lot of CC to engages and stuff like that. Have a Morgana.
yeah, I know. I mean, Morgana just keeps Cassiopeia from getting ulted by the Malphite. Because
And if the Caitlyn is the one that scales out of control like it usually happens, then yeah, it's not going to be a fun time for them.
so I think that's definitely the question for these teams is how do I make sure that my win condition is better
Mm-hmm.
than theirs, and how do I prevent theirs from really getting ahead? Because Cassiopeia doesn't build boots; she scales her movement speed, and she doesn't have to build items for that.
It
So she's
still
just
cracks me
basically
up every single time anyone tells me that. Like yeah, she doesn't buy boots, and it's like it makes sense, but why does Nami do? Looking has brought something to the table that I don't like, and it's the fact that he said that why why can't Organ get 8 pairs of boots? First of all, I think he has 6 legs.
It's six.
No, number one. For his Ah, damn it. Okay. So we are going into the game. We're about to sync up. Please wait for us because this last game appears to be spicy as all hell. See you guys when we enter to maybe and possibly the final match of today's Gladiator League semifinals between Iceborn Ya versus Cloud9. Don't go anywhere. And here we are, ladies, gents, and everyone else, to the possibly final game of the night. In match point, we have on the red side the guys over Cloud9. And on the other side, on the blue side, we have the guys that have had amazing early games, but questionable mid to late games. The guys over at Iceborn. Yeah, I'm accompanied by my friend Flash of Night, and look, I'm already stepping over my words. I swear to God, English is hard.
It is definitely a hard language, especially to learn. And we're currently seeing that League of Legends might be even a harder language for this Aatrox because he just keeps walking at the enemy level 1 and he just doesn't understand. He's just losing a ton of damage. He wants to defend that red buff. It's going to cost him his life.
Yeah. Right now, okay,
Uh,
so what I was going to say was that welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Titan Esports Gladiator League semifinals between Iceborn Ya versus the guys over at Cloud9. We are 2 games ahead for the guys over at Cloud9, which are representing on the red team, and our amazing producer Lukin has been able to do all the producing during the match, and hopefully this will be
Oh,
good. And
level
we're seeing a
2.
gank. Yeah.
And that's going to be a gank. The stun, the follow-up. But look, Kaisa, she wants the kill. She can't follow up. And even though the lane was looking so good, she had this XP lead for the Kaisa, for the Maokai. The Nunu just balls in,
The level
blasted
two, the level
music,
two,
and level 2 ganks.
absolutely. He started playing like DK Summit song from Mario Kart Wii, straight up.
And he's gonna already start the game with a kill. And that's gonna be all the cleanses burned instantly from Kaisa. Meanwhile, on the top side of the map, Aatrox taking some serious damage from the Malphite after some bad trades, and this is not looking too good.
Remember that we've seen Napquan either performing really, really well on the early game or performing really, really bad. So maybe
This
it's going
could
to be a little
be.
bit of those.
He needs to base actually in TP, but actually we're going to see the Ignite coming down. The Flash will come through. It will see a CC miss, and Alun has to dodge. The 1 kill will be picked up. The wave is such a great place, and Flash getting burned from Wupong. He will have to just dodge away the knockup, and we're seeing a really aggressive start to the game that's actually going to turn back to Ice's favor as another Nunu snowball comes in, hits the wave. They're going to break this freeze for the Caitlyn, and Sejuani might gank top.
Yeah, we're seeing a little bit the engages
Oh,
there.
the flash
Oh,
knockup. They will look for the additional CC. They have the knockup. They have the thing. They try to get it to the Malphite, but the wave. Aatrox in a do or die situation. Look at that wave top.
oof, and it's pushing all the way into the Malphite. Not a very ideal condition, to be perfectly honest. And that kill and assist up top works in both ways, really. Right
Yeah.
now, the guys over at Cloud9 need to be a little bit careful because they're trying some really interesting fights, but it's not going really well. The Nunu is trying to get the red buff at this very moment. I can actually see it on my camera for just a second. But we're seeing that the Sejuani doesn't really care about the red buff. It appears that she's actually pinging towards the mid lane. And we're seeing the
Yep.
Nunu that is going to find her right there. And now right now you've discovered yourself and where you are and where is your positioning at this very moment.
The thing to note, though, is the 2v2 coming out from the Akali and Sejuani is actually quite strong because of the melee synergy between the Akali. Both her solo laners are melee champions, which allow her to proc the additional CC, which is going to be great for getting Akali kills. And she's going to already pick up a good lead. She's going to drop the CS, but it doesn't matter. The wave's in a great spot. She can just base, taking that Ignite and finally getting that kill. Meanwhile, on the bot side, Alun, level 4, picks up the coal. Will have to try to make this turn into a much larger gold lead.
Sejuani appears to be pathing towards the golems, which could define a possible gank in the bot side. Again, the only person that has flash right now is the Morgana, and maybe after it's done with the golems, there might be a chance for her to actually have the exhaust. But if there are 3 people on the Caitlyn, I don't think there will be a way for her to actually pop off. But it's the heal's coming back up. So it could be a dicey situation if the Sejuani decides to gank in the bot lane.
Right now, Sejuani is going to come bot here. Actually, what happens is Morgana needs to put down the W to auto-push this wave, and now Kalen's going to actually walk potentially too far up, and that will give opportunity for Sejuani to gank. Nunu is coming down. They have a potential angle, but with the spell shield potentially still on cooldown, it could be a good look. Oh, she will find her. They're going to continue to fight 1-on-1, but Maokai steps up to get some secured as Sejuani will be knocked up. The no slow, though, will matter. They're going to drop down some very much needed traps, and Maokai sappling away.
Right now, in this very moment, okay. So I know that I'm saying a lot. Remember that I'm trying to process everything that you're saying because English is not my native language. I'm sorry to everyone that feels that I'm not paying attention, but I'm actually processing everything. So in this very moment, there is a chance for Nuno to do an early Drake. The thing is that they don't know in this very second where exactly Sejuani is.
We could be seeing another kill. That's going to be the ultimate coming down, and he's going to have to play around it, but it doesn't matter. The ultimate was about to be cast by Wukong there, but Akali, able to use her own ultimate to reposition outside of the tower, will allow her to get a kill and just continue to snowball this lead, and the Cassiopeia pick is not looking too good.
Yeah, and we're seeing that
And
Spire's
he
actually
DC'd.
disconnected. It's back in. It's back in.
Okay, he's back. He's back. He's back.
Okay. All good. All good. All good. So in this very moment, we're seeing that actually the Nunu, Caitlyn, and Morgana are trying their best to actually get the Drake, and we don't. Hopefully they will be able to get it. Yes, they got it.
Yep, and that's going to give them a lot more scaling time. And Caitlyn hopefully should base here into a Noon Quiver or potentially even into a Pickaxe. She really cares about just the raw AD. Gets actually both of them with how much gold she has and is going to look to just...
Did you see that?
What?
The Nunu flashed.
Oh no!
Instead of smiting.
Flash is on F. This is why you put Flash on F. Smite is on D.
Exactly.
Change my... Hey.
The only person here that plays like that is on the side of Cloud9 is the Morgana, and on them everyone except the Malphite.
Yeah, I mean...
The team weirdo having flash on D.
The team weirdo. I mean, like Faker said, I hope you type it in chat. And clearly Malphite... Just look for this game and be like, oh my god, Sejuani just burned Flash. Or sorry, not Sejuani, the Nunu just burned Flash.
No. Yeah, so right now let's look at the possibilities in this very moment. So we're seeing the Morgana and the Cassiopeia on one side. Okay,
the ultimate will connect. That will be the Black Shield, though. Too late as the ultimate will be followed up. A great ultimate from the Cassiopeia will keep her safe, and the roam from Rin here is so massive. And that's actually going to still be a follow-up. The Ignite comes through. That will be a much-needed kill, and we're going to see Wukong greed incredibly hard, and he's gonna die again. Drop so much XP and CS here. Rin will catch it, but Rin played so well in her mid laner, getting a little too cocky, takes the fight.
I don't think it was cockiness. I think she got a little bit too close for a champion that is able to dash half the lane by just existing.
She just should build boots on Cassiopeia. She just needs to build boots, and it'll be okay. If she builds boots, she has more movement speed.
A little suck for the tail.
Hey, if Urgot can build boots, he should be fine. If Nami can build boots, Cassiopeia should be able to build boots.
But imagine people that don't use boots, okay? Why would Corki build boots?
I don't know.
You see?
Yeah, that's true.
We're seeing the ultimate for the Caitlyn trying to force out the Kai'Sa, but right now we're seeing something very interesting, and it's the fact that they are pushing objectives.
Yeah, they're able to take the lead from the jungle and zone off, getting a Herald here. Hopefully we should see this bot lane taking more plates, putting the Caitlyn Morgana into mid or top will be very beneficial.
Yeah, just 600 gold behind, but they have like the hindsight. You see like we already know that they're underperforming, they're not going very well, but it's Cloud9. They've done the same thing already 2 times this night.
Dude, Alun is just taking a lot of damage looking for fights here, and his HP is actually getting quite low, and
he's got a, even though they had the level 1 bot lane gank against them, Sejuani's actually applied more pressure bot to keep her own AD carry alive from getting dove. Oh, and that's going to be a Moo Gaming. Caitlyn will be caught out here. The CC will follow up. She flashes out. The spell shield will not come through. Not enough time. Alun will make his way out as the enemy Akali is looking for something. She will get hooked up. She will try to make a way out, but the auto attack, the flash auto, she will fall to the tower.
No, I was going to scream if she survived that. That there's no freaking way.
Yeah, Akali doing Akali things.
Yeah.
I think if you,
Overall, a really interesting roam from the Akali, which ended up in her own shutdown to the support, which
is
actually makes
not
it
that
worth
bad.
it. Yeah, it actually makes it worth it. But right now, we have to see something really, really important, and it's the fact that the Caitlyn is not behind in CS, and also has a kill. So if we look at the numbers right now, she's just 300 gold behind the Kaisa, which in minions it doesn't translate really, really well. Like in this very moment, Caitlyn has the advantage on paper of being a stronger lane than Kaisa in general. And at the same time, we have that this is Cloud9 we're speaking of. They already 2 times we've said that they were going to lose a match, and that didn't happen. So yeah.
So they have a much more aggressive AD carry this time that can be like play into the enemy. That could be a clutch moment, a clutch factor. So hopefully we can see that for them. But
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see the Nunu applying more pressure onto the Kaisa here because Caitlyn is a very strong champion when she picks up those items.
We're going to talk about builds really quick before. Right now, we don't see a lot of movement. We're seeing that they're stacking up on the Drake, trying to get the secondary, which is going to be the Ocean Drake. And it's very interesting the fact that we have to talk a little bit about build paths at this very moment. So Caitlyn more than likely is going to go for the Gale Force, which is going to give her
Kraken.
that extra survivability and engage in certain situations. But the Aatrox really looks that he's going to be going for the Black Cleaver to start.
Yeah, I think he's taking a choice item of going the Caulfield's Warhammer. We're gonna see a really early potential turn from the ultimate, and that's actually gonna be Malphite outplaying this,
Oh
picking up a free
no.
kill, takes the enemy's flash, and he's gonna be like, with red buff and double buffs, he's gonna be able to freeze this wave quite comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think Nap has just not been doing a great job utilizing the Aatrox this game, and Dia is just doing a very good. I want to take a moment though, in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
this chaos, to talk about the Gale Force on Caitlyn. And I know it's
But
just a
well, you
better.
will have to wait because things are
No.
starting to happen in everywhere.
Yeah, but I think Caitlyn has to go for Kraken Slayer because of the Sejuani and the Malphite. Her team doesn't really have good answers except for the Cassiopeia building Lysandres and the like the Black Cleaver coming out from Aatrox. But
I
Aatrox is
will
not gonna.
actually counterpoint you on that because there's a chance because due to the engage that they have in the form of Malphite and Sejuani, it's better for you to have like an additional escape option rather than additional damage because you can do damage while you're stunned. And at the same time, you have the Aatrox that if he rushes the Black Cleaver, you will actually have the armor thread on another person that doesn't need to be necessarily the Caitlyn. It's going to have its work a little bit better, and she's going to be able to play it safe.
Yeah, no, you make a really good point there. And currently, we're seeing Kaisa keeping this tower alive at 15 minutes into the game. Akali will be spotted out by the Nunu. Hopefully, we see a disengage. Oh, no, Akali burns the ultimate, trying to go through. Will not get stunned, actually, as we look for an additional follow-up. The flash will come through. Maokai pops his ultimate. The CC does not matter. She takes a lot of damage. Kaisa will fall. Sorry, I mean Akali will fall. Kaisa's on the backside going in. They're trying to take out Caitlyn, though. It's just tanks running at the ADC, but she's just getting peeled by the Nunu. They're just going to run her down, and they're not going to see... Oh, wait, what the... Top lane just kills him under tower with no thought or consideration. What is going on? Fights across the map. What?
Yeah. From one side to another. has
What's
been
the
an
point of
absolute
towers?
insanity. Yeah, it's absolutely insanity. At this very moment, we're having a Malphite that is 125 CS on top of the Aatrox that only has 96 and an overall total score of gold of 5,600 gold compared to the 4,500 of the Aatrox. We're having a very interesting top lane matchup that is looking pretty good. On the other hand, we're seeing that the Cassiopeia got a couple of kills that actually put her in front of the Akali, with also having 137 CS compared to the 92 of the Akali. Overall, pretty worth for them during that match. All of them got a little bit of gold ahead, and they are looking really good. 26.2k for the guys over at Cloud9 compared to the 26k period that they have on the side of
I think it
help
really
me, dude.
speaks.
I got stuck.
No, you're okay. It's okay.
Uh,
Iceborn.
of
Iceborn is
Iceborne.
down in gold by a bit, but I think it really speaks to Cloud9 has been just out team fighting them this entire series. And even
Yeah.
when they're down in gold, they just play these fights very, very well. And they know where they have to be, where they have to position, where the enemy's threats are. Because they know they can't walk in here, so they walk away. They're going to push in mid. Cassiopeia should get out pretty carefree. Just going to be able to walk. The ultimate drop by Maokai. The spell shield will get him under tower, but again, oh, the ultimate comes out from Malphite. That's going to be a massive ult from Sejuani too, but that's going to be the Cassiopeia throwing her own out before she dies. That's going to be, though, Kaisa 1v1ing the Caitlyn, and she will fall. The goal lead means nothing. The Gale Force does the additional damage necessary, but look where the Akali is. She has the ultimate. She has the look. Her teammates need to be here. This is a turn moment. This is the solo queue Akali that you'd like to see, but she actually has to ult out. No kills are picked up. She looks for the wrong target, and we might see the enemy jungler press too far. Resets need to occur. Drags in 10 seconds.
Yeah, Malphite,
TP
let me
from
tell you
Malphite.
something. Malphite, let me tell you something really quick. Yes, you can do that to the Aatrox that it's 0-2. There's absolutely no problem on that. You shouldn't do that when there's 4 people on the tower. Just give you that small advice. That was a very interesting engage on there, but ultimately, it definitely left them in a small disadvantage.
Right now, we're seeing the goal leads develop. Both of the junglers are looking pretty even in terms of their itemization. Importantly enough, Nunu is sitting on like 2.6k gold and has not based.
Yeah.
And Sejuani is sitting on 1300 and has not based.
Yeah,
So,
they're in a weird situation right now. I don't know what the Nunu wants to buy straight up to scare people, but it's really interesting. Oh no, great
my
catch over
god.
there. And right now, Cassiopeia is already sitting at 2 items. This could get a little bit messy. They get one Rylai's, a little
This could
bit
be a massive
of...
ultimate that will follow up onto Sejuani. She will die, and this could be a potential mid lane tower. It's so low with no real wave clear. They have no way to stop this from just going in. They could look to turn with their ultimates, but they just don't have the wave clear.
Dude, every time we think that C9 is actually not going to work out, they pull a 180 on us and already 1k, 2k on top of the uh, of Iceborn. It's really interesting how everything's playing out.
So, as this game progresses, the Baron will be the next focus from both these teams. And it really just comes down to whatever team wins the next fight, gets the Baron, is where the gold lead swings. It's so close where it doesn't really mean too much when you're having a 2-item Cassiopeia here compared to like the 1.5 items coming out from the colleague. Put a little bit behind by She Built Boots, but more armor pen through that, or a magic pen. But
Right now, going for the good choice, and I'm pretty sure that the wisest choice, and I'm pretty sure that you would concur with me, and it's the fact that she's going for the sunniest, which in the current situation and the panorama of the map would be on the bigger picture. It could happen, but we're seeing a small engage on the Kaisa.
Oh, Loon will get out basically the safety of Smokey here, buying so much time for his teammate. Oh, if anyone knows what that noise is from the Sejuani, it's the Herald running out. She will spawn it there. Frost will get caught. We're going to see an ultimate come down onto the enemy AD carry. He will try to get out. That's going to be a massive ultimate coming out from Cassiopeia into both of them as Akali is trying to look for something. Alune is really low here. They're going to look for the ultimate follow, but look at the Aatrox. He is alive and healthy. That's going to be no dash available because of the W from Cassiopeia as they fall through. The Herald will actually still crash, but Wukong stays alive. He's able to prevent the Akali for following up because she can't re-dash on the E, and they look to potentially Baron here, but I think Cassio's too low.
That was the sickest kiting / casting that I've seen ever on a Cassiopeia. It was like pixel perfect. It didn't matter who dashed into her, it was instantly fagged to death.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a massive gold swing from a plus 2k for Clout9 to plus 4, and
Yeah,
getting close to soul point with a dragon in a minute and a baron that lasts longer than that. There should be no way that, simply speaking, Ice get another dragon.
absolutely. Now there's a situation where the guys over at Ice had to take a lot into consideration. Right now, the Nunu is straight up went and bought a Spirit Visage, like that, like it didn't cost anything. And I actually really like that way of how he's building. He's 1-1-11. He has been part of 12 of 13 kills in the match, which is absolute insanity. And it turns out we were wrong. The Aatrox actually went for Gold Drinker rather than...
Bot lane, we're potentially looking
Uh-huh.
for a look here. Gonna recast the E, but Maokai can't get on top of the Aatrox, so he just gets out and no summoners are burned.
Yeah, just the ultimate, which I think he's going to be able to get it for when the dragon spawns.
The most important thing, though, is they need to push out waves. Cloud9 cannot afford to give up this dragon. They have no reason that they should. They have all of their ultimates available.
And
Oh,
also
that's going to be the Akali caught here. She can't move. She's able to get out, but a massive Nunu ultimate. She's going to see the re-engage. The snowball comes through. That's going to be an ultimate that follows up, but the spell shield will keep him in. There's the Aatrox in the back line doing Aatrox things. The top laner moving around. The Nunu is still alive as low members of Iceborn are on the map. They will be falling down left, right, and center. They try to escape, but the Caitlyn ultimate has no way, no vision. They walk away. And this is going to be Iceborn with their tail between their legs, trying to make out with the remaining members, so this does not become the Nexus or an inhibitor here. But it looks like Akali might end up falling. The flash was available from Aatrox, but he will not force it. And this will see multiple members of Iceborn under their tier 2 in the bot side, and they will be on Dragon Soul Point.
Let me tell you something. That black shield from Morgana to... Oh, wait, it's not over yet.
Oh my god, they just go for under tower. The balls. And it looks like Akali does an incredible job coming down, though. This is the turn that you want. And it looks like Ren, though, will fall, will prevent... Oh my gosh, Akali is keeping her team in this. Rin dies there. Does not burn the exhaust, does not burn the flash to give her just an instant of time to survive, preventing the try and proc to come in. Will cost her life, but two inhibitors will fall unless the Kaisa and Akali just run instantly top.
Yeah, what I was going to say was that that black shield from Morgana was actually heroic because it didn't stop the Sejuani ult, but actually stopped the knock-up of the Malphite ult, which worked wonders and allowed her to get away from that fight and do all the damage that it did during that last team fight. Absolutely fantastic.
We're not gonna see a massive ultimate come down, and it looks like Soup will fall, mispositioning, but a lot of abilities are burned there. Akali ult, Malphite ult, and nothing. They don't even get the Gale Force from her.
Yeah, but it was really gritty wanting to get those camps on the jungle when you could have just, you know, left. It was definitely a misplay, and if any objective was actually available, it could have meant a whole world of trouble for them for not having the Caitlyn available with them.
Currently, we're seeing a game that is very close in terms
of the team fight ability. If it just comes down to one massive Akali ult, one massive Malphite ult could change this. That's what they were lacking in games 1 and 2, and they have it in this third game, but they're down in so much raw numbers and gold that Akali, 10 KPA in this game, 9 kills, 2 completed items, needs to make something happen for her team.
Yeah. But it's going to be really difficult. Remember what we said, that the Kaisa that everything was confidence with Kaisa until you saw that Caitlyn on the other team? Well, everyone on the team has been pulling their weight, and they have been doing a lot of really good jobs.
It's going to be an ultimate coming down as they're going to actually take a pick onto the Maokai, over positioning. He needs his teammates to help him clear and help him run into that, but the enemy mid and support are able to just take a pick, and they're going to look to secure the bot lane tier 2 and look for that last base turret, the last outer turret
That
of
poor Maokai, it's not a wall, it's a drywall. Ha 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 ha.
the tree
You
is
know,
getting
because
burned
it's
alive.
basically
Oh my god, Wukong! He instantly is able to dodge with the hourglass from the Malphite ultimate. He just goes for it. He picks up a kill. Sumerby able to get the last hit. They're under tower. They do not care. Aluna's 1 HP. The Gale Force forward. The double. The triple. He's looking for more than one with the base looking open. They have the waves in. They don't even need the Baron buff. That's going to see Akali getting a really good hit. She has no ultimate. That will be a kill picked up for Rin. No Penta available for Superbot now, though, but that will still be a tower falling. Another one, and that will be 3-0 for Clout9. They didn't even give them a chance, and they're going to be looking to take this game in 23 minutes with a 12,000 gold lead. An absolutely monster of a performance.
Agape from that reaction with the Sonya's hourglass, which
Holy!
we said that was going to be a defining item that it was going to be needed, and it paid in spades. What was at one point a 0-3-0 Cassiopeia ended 4-4-11. And of course, we need to give a huge round of applause to our friend Rin on the Morgana. It went 5-3-16. Of the 22 kills of his team, he was present on 21 of them. Absolute insanity. And also Nunu, that went 4-1-16 with a total of 20 kills out of the 22 it was present. This jungler was absolutely insane.
I'm gonna be honest there. I think game 3 was definitely a jungle canyon. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
god. The KPA from Nunu was ridiculous. She
Yeah.
was there in every single team fight, and she was just always there, making the right calls on when to back off and go in and take fights. It was just a really good job
Did you saw the
compared to
damage graph?
Sejuani. Yeah, the
Did you saw
damage graph, like even though I was expecting um to be a lot higher for the Kaisa. Kaisa was actually the lowest damaging champion in that game.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand this when you're picking Kaisa is your range is quite low, so you need your team to be playing an engaged comp, and if you fall too far behind during laning phase, it is
You're
just
having a
going to
bad time.
you're
You're
having a
just
bad time.
having a bad time, yeah.
You're gonna
Absolutely.
have a bad time. Like it is
Yeah.
going to be awful.
Overall, I have to say this was a very exciting series. It wasn't like last week, which was actually a really cool back and forth and ended up in a gentleman's match. But in this game, in this series, Cloud9 showed us not once, not twice, but three
Three
times
times.
that an early game doesn't define the rest of the match. They were 6 kills behind where they only had one, and they were able to pop back up from that, and that really deserves some admiration. Some admiration.
So, I don't know. I'm new to this league. Do we give MVPs? Do we give aces? Do we
We
comment
could
on
totally give MVPs and an ace. Tell me, who do you think is the MVP on the Cloud9 in this Gladiator League semifinal?
I think if to look at it through each game, through each of the 3 games that they played, and if we look
Uh-huh.
at the first one, the Galio into Zoe, I think the Galio did a really incredible job, but if I really look at it, it was really actually the Viego, the jungler in that first game for Clout9, that really just turned things around. His ability to
Hmm.
possess and just get kills. Um, but the game 3 is when the jungle gap looks like, okay, maybe Cloud9's got the jungle advantage a bit here, where it went from being like, okay, to holy crap, dude, Sejuani
Hmm.
isn't gonna play the game.
Yeah, it
Like I
wasn't
thought,
allowed.
I thought I'm like, okay, mid lane is doing quite well for Cloud9. Their bot lane doesn't seem to be gapping as much as I would expect, given their
Hmm.
champion picks in game 2 and game 3. But holy crap, jungle performance was by far the biggest factor in this series, and it showed. Because when jungle was doing well, they didn't have big goal deficits at the beginning of the game, but when jungle was doing behind, the goal
Hmm.
deficits really seemed to grow across the map for
Yeah,
Cloud9. So I think the MVP of the series is the jungler. I think
yeah.
simply Cloud9's jungler did an incredible job. I mean, I don't know how to say his name because it has the really weird bow in
Keopon.
it. Keopon,
Keopon.
Keopon. Incredible job. And maybe second to him is Rin or Wupong. I mean, those players also did a very good job. I mean, I'm not gonna
Wupong had one of the most like minimalistic, uh, how
plays
do
with
you
the
say it?
hourglass. Holy
Yeah,
crap!
no, yeah, and before that, in that fight in the mid lane, where he was like, he was dashed by Malphite, he was dashed by Kaisa, by Akali, and it was able to survive all of them.
Yeah, it was
And that
insane.
thing is, and that's something that is not easy to achieve.
Yeah,
And overall, it was a very, very, very good performance.
I think him and the jungle were the two main stickouts for me. The reason I give it to the jungle is just the impact that jungle's as a role has um in the game, and I think that's like I kind of feel bad for saying like, oh yeah, jungle just matters more, but it does. Um, being a good jungler,
Sometimes, okay, okay, sometimes. Like I believe in what you're saying, especially when it comes to a competitive environment when you are in constant communication with your team. Jungle pathing, where your jungle is located, and stuff like that. It's usually something that is really, really important that a lot of people sometimes take for granted, and I believe that there was a really good, how do you say this? There was a really good uh display of skill on both sides. Like they were moments, for example, when we saw in the first game where Iceborn Ya picked the Graves, for example. They had a really good uh presence in the first game, at least towards 30 minutes. And in the second game, when they went as Viego, they had the same thing. So it comes to a point where how much is actually the how they say is the jungle's job to carry around everything, and that's exactly what we saw in the end.
No, for sure. I think the fact that Graves and the Viegos in games 1 and 2 got such leads against Cloud9 could definitely be used as an argument against Cloud9's jungler for the MVP position, which would put Wupong in that. So
Hmm.
I'm okay with either of them getting that recognition. I think all of their players played quite well, and they ended up taking the win in the end. But I would like to take a moment to talk about Iceborn. Unfortunately, they did lose 3-0, but they still had some very good moments for their team, getting plays. They won team fights. This was not a complete stomp. They did not go completely killless in the series. They had their moments. So who
Yeah.
do you think was the best performing player from Iceborn throughout this entire series?
Ooh, okay, so I'm pretty sure it would have to be the mid laner.
Yeah,
I think its name was
Spires.
yeah, Spires did a really good job in most of the games, like the Zoe peak, the like these player had really, really hard matches in general, but overall I think he did well. Okay,
Yeah,
and
no.
I believe that he played well to a certain point, and I think that's the most important part.
Yeah, I think that's really true. I think um again, unfortunately, his season is over here, and there's a lot to reflect on in the series as an individual and as a team. But the most important part about playing League and even the competitive scene, I mean, even Def talked about this as a player, is how can you improve from your losses?
Yeah,
Because like yes, winning is the end goal for everyone on the Rift, but it's illogical to say that I'm going to win every game I play. You're going to
absolutely.
lose. So understand why you lost and try to make those mistakes less likely. And I think all the players on Iceborne and Cloud9 made mistakes in those games that they can look back on and try to rectify in future games. So I encourage them to, as players and as people, to just strive to do better because no one played perfect in that game. There was mistakes from both
Yeah.
sides, and I think if they approach it from the mindset of improvement, they can walk away from the season feeling satisfied, even without if they don't end up winning it all.
I really like the way that you're thinking in that case. That don't take this as the end of your career, maybe on Titan or anything else. If this is the career path that you want to follow, it's really good that it's happening right now. The fact that you're losing rather than in some absolutely gigantic tournament where all the stakes, all the chips are in the table. You guys should be very proud on how you played both teams. But definitely the kudos go to Cloud9 that never lost their cool and had like a mental of titanium on how they handled every situation.
So with that, I think that brings our series to a conclusion. Cloud9 will move on to the Gladiator Fall Finals with Tiny
But
Esports with a
let me check something
confident.
real quick. Something really quick. Wait. I'm sorry that okay, Elysium and finally these games were played off camera, and it was between Elysium Riptide versus ISM All Star Gold, and Elysium Riptide is going to the finals.
So the number one team from both groups will
Mm-hmm.
top their seedings and play. Both of them have the same record, 8-2, and did not lose to any of the teams throughout the five weeks. They all went 4-0. So this will be a very, very tough match because
Yeah,
these teams won confidently. So playing against another very confident team, oh god, game one, that's where
it's
it's gonna
going to be
matter.
insane. Yeah, it's going to be insane. Okay, so right now we are out for tonight. It was an amazing experience today, and now I think we're fine. We can finally give this a rest. Hopefully next week we will continue the tradition of I having absolutely different casters every single time that I cast. Thanks again to Lukin for the amazing production during this match. Thanks to the guys who are at Titan Esports for giving us this amazing opportunity to cast their matches. Thanks to Fort and Sems. You guys are fantastic, are amazing administrators for the tournament. Thank you, Flash, for being here with me and bringing a lot of the heat towards these play-by-play castings. And thanks to everyone that watched this series. This has been the Titan Esports Gladiator League for this week. We will see you next week with the finals. Something that you want to add on, Mr. Flash?
I don't think there is much to add on. He kind of wrapped it up pretty cleanly. I'm looking forward to see how these teams play in the finals because if these series are anything, it's gonna be a banger.
Absolutely. See you guys then.